time to dig in right now. Along with Jay Milne, I'm Reid Wilkins. Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton sports. Oilers preseason, just one game left. Wasn't good last night against Seattle. The final score wasn't. I think they did a lot of good things in the game, but we'll talk about that as we move along. Elks Riders coming up on Saturday. Huge showdown. Golden Bears hockey getting ready to start their regular season. Marc Lajoie is going to join us. And the Canadian Finals Rodeo ongoing at Rogers Place. We're going to have a very unique and special guest to dive a little deeper into that. Hope you're having a great afternoon. It's 3:03. And yes, we have more video released as part of a promotion for the series which comes out on Amazon tomorrow, I guess on Prime. Face Off Inside the NHL, a 6-part documentary series. Mark Lazarus, from The Athletic, wrote a kind of summary of each episode today. And episodes 5 and 6 of the 6 parts will be centered around the Stanley Cup Final between the Oilers and the Panthers. Now, Jay, when was it? A couple weeks ago, they put out that very short snippet of McDavid after, well, we didn't even know at the time for sure it was after Game 2. I thought it might be in the second intermission of Game 2. And you and I speculated at that time. Listen to it. I wonder if it's cut up and it's part of a longer tirade.
Yeah, we dove right head first into that one. And with the help of the Nasty crew, we found out that, yes, it was clipped. It was part of something bigger. I'm not sure we knew it was this big and this entertaining, but yeah, we'll get into it here, but there's lots to discuss about this.
All right, let's hear it. And obviously, hopefully all the F-bombs have been muted. You can obviously get the uncensored online. But
it's not hard to find.
Here is McDavid after Game 2 of losing the Stanley Cup Final.
Right now. Right now. Right now. Not ideal, but it's happened so many times. But that's not good enough. For finals. Dig the in right now. Whatever the you have. That is not good enough. Let's go get one win at home. One win, and we'll see what happens. But dig the in.
Well, they did get a win at home, and they saw what happened. They lost the series in 7 games. All right. So as we sort of talked about before, but I do think this is an interesting discussion for a lot of reasons. I think the first thing I think about this is as a media person who's spent most of my career covering sports and often doing post-game interviews, you just don't get that. Even if you're around a team a lot. I mean, I think back to when I would cover the Alberta Junior Hockey League, you would wait right outside the dressing room. So sometimes you would get a coach yelling, but, through the wall and through the door, and then they would always come out calmly and be like, oh, hey, Reid, ready to do the interview? I mean, they usually wouldn't bring it out to you. So to see one of the top sports stars, let's face it, in my mind, I don't think I'm overstating this, to see one of the top sports stars on the planet do that, I think is really interesting access. I know Brad Harrison, one of the equipment and training guys, pulls the curtain back partway during it, but you could still get the audio. So it's interesting to see that access. And, we've been talking about this, and I've been texting a few friends about it, and one friend said, wow, what a temper tantrum. And then somebody else said, love it. Love to see it. Didn't think he'd be like that. But I would also say, all right, when we see Connor McDavid, usually we see him play, and then when we see him speak, if it's in a commercial or in a media scrum or whatever, it's often very brief and very controlled. So he's obviously not like that all the time. I mean, that'd be like saying you and I are exactly like this all the time when we go home and are away from all this. I mean, nobody's exactly the way they are in a public front-facing situation all the time. So that was a very private moment that was caught on camera for the purpose of this documentary.
Well, and I guess there's a couple questions here. Is this, from a fan's point of view, do you think this is a positive? This is a leader being a leader, or do you think it's somebody that's coming off like a crybaby? Okay, I'm not saying that's what I think. I get tingles when I listen to it. It fires me up because you can hear the emotion coming from the best hockey player in the world asking his teammates to step up. Secondly, how does Connor McDavid feel about this now being out there? Peeling back the curtain on his true self. I would suspect that he doesn't do this often or, probably rarely.
Right.
But the situation called for it. I mean, that was a dire that they needed exactly what he said at that point in time.
Right. And they lost. And when we were looking at this when the first snippet of audio came out, which was 5 or 6 seconds. I mean, what's the runtime on that, Zach? Was it about 45 or 50?
Yeah, 45 seconds.
About 45 seconds. So it's much longer than that edited version we got. And then that's why I thought it might have been after the second period of game 2 when they only had 9 shots on goal. So they wound up losing game 2. So yeah, they were in the worst possible situation they could be in, and they didn't play well in game 2. Played well enough to win game 1. Bobrovsky stole the game. But instead of coming out with that type of game again, they got pretty... I mean, I think game 2, I know obviously the game 7 loss will stay with a lot of people, but I think in terms of quality of play, that was the worst the Oilers played in that series. So he's fired up. And it's interesting reading Marc Lajoie's summary of each episode. It's kind of a further tease. He says the show really tries to portray McDavid and the Oilers as under unfathomable pressure in Edmonton, while Tkachuk is the chillest dude alive in South Florida. You see a tense, aching McDavid getting physical therapy, and then you smash cut to Tkachuk in his pool with shades on, talking about how the Panthers are almost too relaxed. You see Tkachuk before game 1 smiling broadly and saying it's like Christmas morning. Cut to McDavid all jittery and fidgety on the bus on the way to the arena. It might be exaggerated, but it's effective. So he admits part of this is the presentation, but I mean, part of the reason that McDavid and a lot of other high-end athletes are great is because they put more on themselves than anybody else could ever put on them. Like, I know sometimes when they get asked, like, well, do you feel the pressure? Do you feel the pressure from the fans? Usually they say, we're worried about our own expectations and our own expectations of ourselves. And I think that's in that moment. What I hear from McDavid is like, yes, he's frustrated and he's trying to inspire or wake up his teammates. That's all part of it. But I also take that as a lot of the message is, let's not waste this opportunity. We don't know if or when we're going to be back. As we all know, and 32 teams in the NHL, there's some great teams and great players that won't get a sniff of the Stanley Cup Final. I mean, even Ovechkin got there once. He won it. We know the situation with the Leafs and Matthews and Marner haven't been past the second round. There's going to be... So I'm also hearing in that, like when he's saying, dig in. This is the finals. Find whatever you have. I think that's really the message there. I don't think he's throwing a tantrum. I don't think he's just doing it for him. Part of it is himself because of the expectation he puts on himself and his desire to win. But I also think he's saying to his teammates, what's the old cliche? We didn't come this far just to come this far. Don't be looking back on this 25 years from now and saying to yourself, I probably actually could have played harder in that series.
Well, and which would also lead me to believe that this isn't something that happens often. This was a team that was down 2-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals, the pinnacle of professional hockey, and you're down 2-0. That's what a leader can do. And if this was something that was a regular contribution by Connor McDavid, the room wouldn't have been so eerily quiet as it was like that. People were not moving. The only person moving in the actual video was Hyman putting his helmet up
And
top.
they're very quietly getting undressed, the guys who are,
Undressed literally and literally
right
by Connor McDavid. So, yeah, I think it's great. I think, for that to be the captain of the Edmonton Oilers is awesome. That is great. That is showing a side of him that Oilers fans have not seen. It's been very stoic, very calm answers from Connor McDavid. To see that emotion, that makes you want to run through a brick wall for this guy. And it does. And that's a team that you get to cheer for. So, yeah, I think it's a win-win for Connor, knowing how reserved he is, though, at least in interviews anyways, or
right.
from what the public sees. I could see that this would probably be something that he might not be ashamed of, might not be the right word, but it might get to him a little bit that this was out there.
Yeah, it's
or
hard
maybe not. Maybe he goes to the All-Star game and he's like, you want to screw with me? Look what I'm the guy.
Well, I'm really wondering because Oilers fans are so dedicated. They don't miss much. Like I would guess if you cheer for the Oilers even remotely, you will see this either today or tomorrow, or someone's going to send it to you, right? I mean, there's not really a such thing as a casual Oilers fan. And even in this city, if you're not an Oilers fan, someone's going to show you that video, or you're still going to see it, or you're going to need to see it so you can have a conversation with all your friends and family who are Oilers fans. But I really wonder at what point do we hear a right effing now chant break out at Rogers Place? Like, I seriously think that's going to happen. I think at some point this season, I'm not saying it's going to be the whole building. It might be a few hundred or a few thousand people. I think there'll be a right effing now chant in the arena because they're so in tune and want to reference everything and want to show McDavid support and mimic him when they can and all that kind of stuff. That's my side note for this. Is there going to be or dig in something like that?
Yeah, something will come. It's too much of a rallying cry to go to waste.
Yeah,
our friends over at the 780 that are partnered up with us for the flyaway to LA. I think they could be the people that would lead the merch charge on this. They do a ton of unique Oilers merchandise, and that would be something it would probably fly off the shelves. But dig in.
It will be an interesting series. I know it comes out tomorrow. I know a lot of people will probably watch it all tomorrow. I can't guarantee I'm going to have it all watched by Monday, but I'll probably get through. I will get through it at some point. Again, episodes 5 and 6 are on the Cup Final, and they all come out at once, so you don't really have to watch. Maybe I'll just watch 5 and 6 and then watch the rest at my convenience. Trouba's featured in one. Hughes and Landeskog are in one. I'm just looking at Lazarus' summary. Swayman and Tkachuk. Swayman talks about his contract stuff even in that. So Forsberg and Eichel are in one. So there will be some cool stuff. And Lazarus sort of pulled some quotes out. And at one point, Draisaitl commented on the adulation the Oilers get in Edmonton. The quote is, "It's hard to describe. We don't walk around thinking we are the Beatles. We're just any other guy at home eating chips or watching Friends."
They are.
Probably eat fewer chips than most of us.
Probably a few less chips.
But I'm interested in that type of stuff, if there's any access to that, because in the scrums and interviews we do, you kind of don't get much on life away from the rink. Or what is it really like to be an Oiler? I mean, we get the video of McDavid trying to buy beer and the guys won't leave him alone. Like, is it comfortable going out? Are you afraid to go out? Are there Oilers safe restaurants where you're not going to get hounded and people are going to tweet and put on Instagram?
Oh, for sure there
there
is.
Yeah.
I guarantee
I'm not saying we're going to find that out in this, but interesting little things like that could be interesting. And apparently Leonard, McDavid's dog, has a role in it.
I was just going to say that from the the article that you sent, that just to recap, if you're joining us here, There was an article in The Athletic of somebody that broke down and had seen this whole series already, and was detailing episode by episode, not giving everything away, but kind of giving it a review, I guess you could say. And yes, Leonard the dog is, and I think from what I understand, like that is Connor's life. This dog.
The dog's important to him.
Very important to him. Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff, Reid, though. Exactly. And that's, that's the kind of things that, honestly, that people want to see is behind the curtains. And stuff
I
like
think,
that.
I doubt if any Oilers fan is going to be bothered by this McDavid stuff.
Bothered?
Or think, oh, why did he do that? Or he
Quite
should
the
do
contrary.
That. Now, again, if it's all the time, or if that's after, when they had the 16-game winning streak snapped, but hey, that was the biggest game of the lives of most of those players. I guess Ekholm and Henrique had been to the final before. Jan Mark, I think we might be missing something, but you know what I'm saying. Down 2-0.
I'll read the general sentiment that's coming in on the nasty chat, coming in the EST inbox, 780-218-9999. Hit us up. Let us know what you think of that McDavid clip. But Smitty the Welder kind of summarizes what everybody's saying here. Anyone calling it a temper tantrum clearly has never played sports and isn't a leader in anything. Holding guys accountable is a huge part of the captaincy. I absolutely love to see Connor like that. That's the general sentiment.
Yeah, and again, I just find it interesting from a storytelling access, something we don't usually see from somebody type of thing. I remember... Has anybody seen that documentary? It was about 20 years ago. It was called Comedian, and it was Seinfeld a few years after Seinfeld ended, and he's starting to do stand-up again. And he went to so they try out jokes. So they'll just show up at a small comedy club, in his case in New York, and be like, hey, I want to go on. It's not publicized. And they showed this video of him, and he's stumbling through a set. Like he loses his place. He has to pull his notes out of his pocket and check where he was. and he's just standing there on stage silently looking. He's like, wow, Seinfeld. He had a bad moment on stage. I loved seeing that type of access. So I like, I'm not saying we need to see it all the time, but hey, Stanley Cup Final, let's see what they're doing behind the scenes. All right. We're going to keep talking about the Oilers. We got to weave in here our off-topic topic for William Huff. Since 1952, William Huff has provided industry-leading graphics with design, print, and install, all in-house for thousands of valued clients. Their unparalleled customer service combined with decades of industry expertise and a desire to make every job the very best it can be is what they call the William Huff advantage. Visit their website, williamhuff.com, or give them a shout at 780-454-4536. So I think everybody, well, maybe if you live in an apartment, you don't, but you have the green bin for your food scraps, right? So in the house, you keep the bag, the special bag, right, that you can put in the compost, and then when it fills up, you put it in the green bin.
It's a green bag that goes in a green bin that sits in a green container.
But I keep that bin in I keep the bag in an old coffee container and then just pull it up and tie it out. So I guess, and I'm quite a clean person. You've already seen that from me. I'm pretty orderly and clean. But I was, I guess, negligent taking this bag out, and I hadn't been using it a lot, so I didn't think of changing it. So I went to put something in there last night, and it was a science experiment. There was fuzzy white mold everywhere. I think I might have put like a half piece of bread or something in there a few days ago, and then forgot to take it out to the actual larger bin in the garage. So the bottom side of the coffee lid, the lid for the coffee container, looked like caterpillar cocoon, like just all this white fuzz. The mold had just exploded everywhere. And a part of me was curious to put on some gloves and pick away. And I was like, no. So I just threw the whole thing out in the garbage. I'm sorry. It's not going to get
It's the only time in your life you need a microscope in your house.
Yes, I would have needed a microscope. So our off-topic topic is, what is the grossest / weirdest thing you've ever found in your kitchen or fridge? Moldy, old food, whatever. Grossest / weirdest thing you've ever found in your kitchen or fridge. The off-topic topic for William Huff. Maybe you opened the door and Connor McDavid was telling you to dig in. Maybe you're looking at that cheesecake in your fridge and McDavid pops out from behind it. Dig in.
Yeah. Stay away.
Okay, Connor. All right. We'll have more on the Oilers, including a recap and some thoughts on last night's 6-2 loss to the Tentacles. But first, Zach Kubish with a sports update.
NHL preseason continues with the Red Wings and the Leafs. The Devils facing the Flyers and the Avs battling the Golden Knights. Former Oiler Tyson Barrie signs a one-year, $1.5 million deal with the Calgary Flames. Barrie played 65 games, recording 27 points over the past 2 seasons with the Predators. Lightning forward Connor Geekie gets a 1-game suspension for leaving the bench on an illegal line change to start an altercation. In the CFL, Riders running back Rock Armstead has been ruled out for the game, Saturday's game against the Elks, while Roughriders defensive back Deontay Williams receives a 1-game suspension for dumping Khalil Pimpleton of the Red Blacks on his head. NFL injuries have Taysom Hill suffering fractured ribs against the Falcons on Sunday, while Brian Robinson of the Commanders and Joe Mixon of the Texans sit out of practice. Rashee Rice of the Chiefs also moves to the injury reserve due to a knee injury. Thursday night football action sees the Buccaneers duking it out against the Falcons, and you can come hang out with Lieutenant Eric at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for kickoff at 6:15. In baseball, it's the Mets and Brewers out in Milwaukee, with the winner moving on to the division series. Right after the break, the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key, influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the Association, Formula One, soccer, golf, oh sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Don't feel like working? Join the Hangout. You never know what you might hear. Weekday mornings 9 to 11 on edmontonsportstalk.com.
Come get your game on at The Ranch. The Ranch lets it all hang out with a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at The Ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always The Ranch. The Ranch Golf and Country Club. 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. TheRanchGolf.com.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki with like a giant eagle's wings and singing lead vocals for Lynyrd Skynyrd with like an angel band. And I'm in the crowd hammered drunk.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
At Mind 360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind 360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind 360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Thank you, Zach. Zach always gives me a gentle point whenever I'm supposed to go. You could just yell "dig in" at me.
Dig in!
Thank you. We are.
Hey, see you, Hernan. Have a great evening.
Thanks for having me on your show.
Thanks for not having me on your show. Okay.
You'll be on next week. Hernan's going to be on our show tomorrow.
Yes.
To tee up Oilers and Canucks. We'll talk a little bit more about the Oilers here in a couple minutes. We were going through the McDavid. What do we call it? Do we call it a tirade, or does that make it sound more negative than it is? Do we call it a rant? Do we call it just his post-game reaction, his post-game speech, his post-game anger?
I think rant also has negative connotations to it.
Yeah.
It would sound like he's I'd say McDavid's, we're going to have to come up with a real name for this.
We don't have one.
Hear Me Roar by Connor McDavid.
Post-game roar.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. 780-218-9999 is the EST inbox. You can also jump into the Nasty Chat on YouTube. Very popular community there. By the way, if you're on YouTube, give us a thumbs up. We always try, we endeavor to get to at least 100 each show. So please give us a thumbs up and tell all your friends to watch and listen, either YouTube, iHeartRadio, the TuneIn app, or just through EdmontonSportsTalk.com. We do have our off-topic for William Huff. Grossest and or weirdest thing you've ever found in your kitchen or fridge?
I don't know if it's the grossest or weirdest thing that I've ever found, but it's definitely the most recent. and it happened actually on Monday. We were outside. We're doing some yard work, so finished up, went to go get a beer in the garage. We have a beer fridge in the garage. And my wife says, "Oh my God, what is this smell? It's been getting worse and worse." And I'm like, "I don't know." We both looked. There's nothing. There's nothing in there that would say. So I said, "Well, maybe it's that you have a jar of sauerkraut, and it was opened, like we had used it already,
right?
But it was it's a pickle jar lid, so it was sealed." Oh boy, that was the culprit. It was bad. It was so bad. It was coming through the seal. Oh, think about that. That's so we all, I'm like, well, maybe it's this jar. Oh my gosh. It fell over. Immediately threw it in the garbage. That was the culprit. I asked my wife earlier, and she said, old broccoli. That, because we also had, there's a lot of gates here at EST. There was Cookie Gate, which you diffused today successfully. There was Fart Gate that happened at a EST partner and sponsor party we had last year, and somebody brought a veggie tray, and it was in the boardroom, and it reeked. The broccoli reeked, and it was a question of who was letting these farts go all night, but it was actually in turn the seasoned broccoli.
Bad smells are the worst because I always find you don't know if you should bring it up or not. And I'm always afraid, am I the only one who smells this? Is it in a proximity where I'm the only one who can smell it? And if I say it out loud, then people will think, well, you must be the one who causing the smell, Reid, if you're the only one smelling it. But yeah, also in a house too. When there's a weird smell in your house, that's a bad feeling because you always think, okay, what could this possibly be if it doesn't go away soon?
Well, poker aficionado Jen Cool in the Nasty Chat says, one time my hubby was eating what he thought was a fresh cheese bun. I got closer to him and said, there's mold on that, right? Oh no. Needless to say, he didn't know and ended up in the trash.
Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness.
And YouTube Trev, thanks for listening, buddy. He chimes in and says, Fartgate sucked. He was here for Fartgate.
You know what I hate?
Yeah.
I hate putting the suffix gate on anything that is controversial.
Why?
Because it all stems from Watergate.
Yes.
The Nixon scandal. Watergate
was a building name.
Was the hotel.
Yeah.
It was not a scandal involving water. So I hated the Brady thing, Deflategate. I didn't call it that. I call it the deflated football scandal.
No, see, I hate that you hate the gate.
Well, too bad. I'm going to keep hating it.
Fine. Hate
it's not proper.
This
it's
is
not
hate.
proper
this
use
is,
of words of usage of words.
This
of
is
suffixes.
hate gate. This
it's hate gate. Because that rhymes, I'll be slightly more tolerant of that.
Now there's some comments coming in about cheese. Like if cheese is moldy, you can go ahead and knock that piece off, and the rest is fine. right? Like
an actual block of cheese. But he had a cheese bun that the bread had molded. If the bread molds to the extent that it looks like cheese, that's not good.
And the word, like, oh man, there's so many things like cream that's gone bad, like coffee creamer, and you wreck your coffee with it.
If it's actually clumpy, yeah, that's gross. The off-topic topic. The grossest or weirdest thing you've ever found in your kitchen or fridge, or perhaps eaten. We are also taking you through the Oil Understood for GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts. Proud to serve the Edmonton and Northern Alberta area for over 50 years, and now a proud partner of Edmonton Sports Talk and the Reid Wilkins Show. GCL Diesel. Diesel. Understood. They lost 6-2. Now, remind me, did you watch the game?
It wasn't televised.
Well, you didn't watch it on Oilers Plus?
I did not.
I watched it on Oilers Plus.
Hey, I will admit, I did watch the highlights.
Yeah, you can watch the condensed. Well, I mean, okay, look.
It did look good.
Well, here's the thing. Rodrigue looked like an AHL goaltender trying to stop NHL players. I realized there were some grade A chances, but they can't all go in. To me, there were a couple of goals couple of shots that should pretty much be stopped all the time. And at the end of the day, the stats just weren't very good, allowing 6 goals on 24 shots. And 4 goals on 5 shots in the second period. That's tough. I mean, the Oilers outshot Seattle 15-5 in the second period, and we're trailing 4-2. So I think goaltending was a big thing in that game. And Grubauer had a decent game for the Kraken, and he's going to be a storyline for them because as a member of the Kraken, he hasn't been that great. And goaltending has sort of been one of their downfalls since they came into the league. I know they made the playoffs that one year. So that would be item number one. And I'm not saying that to pick on Rodrigue. I'm just saying, that's who he is right now. Maybe he's just going to be a minor league goaltender.
Maybe he had an off night.
Or he just had a really off night. We'll see. I thought, the Draisaitl, Arvidsson, Skinner line was together. I thought they played well. I thought they had some zip. I thought they had some spark. I don't have much to complain about there. They created the 5-on-5 goal when Dermott came down and banged one in. The power play got a 5-on-3 goal, which is we talk about ad nauseum. Like 5-on-3, it just feels like it's a matter of how are they going to score. And that goal, that's just keeping the puck alive. And then skill, finding a guy. I mean, that was one of those, he's going to shoot. Now Draisaitl's actually the one taking the shot. It was like, which guy wants to deliver the kill shot? They were so good with it. As I said yesterday, and again seeing him last night, I think Dermott should get a contract. I know there's a lot of speculation that he will. He got the goal. He had another chance. Played 19-10. Wasn't credited with a hit. I know you'd maybe like him to hit. Nurse, by the way, got credited with 6 hits. I do think Dermott has outplayed Brown. Again, I think some of the hatred for Brown is a little much. Like, let's face it, guys, it is the preseason. But and even the goal, I can't remember if it was the first or second Seattle goal. There was a few of them. But, he chased the guy in the corner, wasn't able to tie him up, and the pass got through. And I'm like, okay, but Kulak also pinched there. So then Brown's in a disadvantaged position trying to sort of defend this sort of a 2-on-1 with the puck in the corner. Yeah, ideally he goes in and hits the guy or negates the pass. He wasn't able to do it. But I just think I'm almost of the mind that even if Brown had sort of played the way it was hoped he could play, that Dermott's probably been a little more effective, even if Brown had been at his best. Now, what's going to happen with Brown? Well, maybe he's still the 7th defenseman. And as I said yesterday, and I said it with Hernan and Gager, let's not write the guy off for the entire 3-year contract. I'm not telling you that you can't be unhappy by you can feel how you want, but I'm not saying, just accept the contract. Hey, 3 years, we all knew that was a risk. But he's got the deal, so maybe he gets better. Maybe he eases into it. Maybe there will be a time at the season where he's going to play better, where he's going to play better, where he's going to be put in a certain situation or against a certain opponent, and it's going to be a better situation for him. But right now, I think Dermott's done enough that he should get a contract. And quite frankly, I would have him, if I had to pick the opening day lineup right now, I would have Dermott in. I'd have Nurse Bouchard. Sorry, not Nurse Bouchard. Ekholm Bouchard.
Nurse
Emberson. And we'll finally see them together tomorrow, I would assume. And Kulak Dermott. Dermott plays on his offside. Why not?
A lot of buzz around that and a lot of, I guess, anticipation almost as if, he will get that contract. Saw a really cool story on him and how it's, kind of give a little bit more introspective into somebody that, his wife and kids are back home living with his in-laws. They're all piled into one house, kind of waiting with bated breath as to what's going to happen. And almost a little bit of a feel-good story for Dermott, but it sounds like that's what's coming down the pipe.
All right. We'll keep an eye on that, of course. More Oilers chat as we move along throughout the afternoon. We'll continue to get you ready for the Elks' big showdown against the Saskatchewan Roughriders Saturday at 5 at Commonwealth. Our coverage will start at 4 with the Green and Gold kickoff show with Jay Milne and Matthew Iwanek. Marc Lajoie from the U of A Golden Bears hockey team. But first, a sports update with Zach.
NHL preseason action has the Red Wings against the Leafs, the Devils facing the Flyers, and the Avs battling it out against the Golden Knights. Former Oiler Tyson Barrie signs a 1-year, $1.25 million deal with the Calgary Flames. Barrie played 65 games, recording 27 points over the last 2 seasons with the Predators. Lightning forward Connor Geekie gets a 1-game suspension for leaving the bench to start an altercation. Over in the CFL, Rock Armstead of the Riders has been ruled out for Saturday's game against the Elks, while Roughriders defensive back Deontay Williams receives a 1-game suspension for dumping Khalil Pimpleton of the Red Blacks on his head. NFL injuries has Taysom Hill suffering fractured ribs against the Falcons on Sunday, while Rashee Rice of the Chiefs hits the injury reserve with a knee injury. Thursday night football action sees the Buccaneers duking it out against the Falcons, and you can come and hang out with Lieutenant Eric at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for kickoff at 6:15. In baseball, it's the Mets and the Brewers out in Milwaukee with the winner moving on to the division series. Just after the break, Marc Lajoie joins the Reid Wilkins Show. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code ES. Shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen ST, listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
a lot going on. Oilers, Elks, of course. Golden Bears football tomorrow. Huge home game against UBC. Quarterback Eli Hetlinger will not play. I don't think we'll see him again this season for the Golden Bears, which is tough. I think they're up to 8 players with season-ending injuries. And the U of A Golden Bears hockey team starting the Canada West regular season with a home-and-home this weekend, but they don't have to leave Edmonton to do it. They will be at MacEwan University tomorrow at 7, and then Saturday a home game at Clare Drake Arena, also against MacEwan. And I'm pleased to welcome to the show from the Golden Bears hockey team, Marc Lajoie. Marc, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
Hey, guys. I'm good. Thanks. How are you guys doing?
Good. It's nice to catch up with you again. Of course, when we last talked, you were an Edmonton Oil King, and a few things have changed since then. Just take me through your commitment to the Golden Bears, and I guess with you, we have to bundle in the whole family history as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think just U of A kind of reached out early on into the season last year, and obviously, like you said, with the family history and whatnot, it was always kind of a place I wanted to play. But then kind of just played out the year, got an opportunity to go to Bakersfield at the end of last season and try pro a bit, but I just thought for me that going to school and getting an education would be the best fit for me, and then obviously being here in Edmonton, and my dad obviously coached the Bears, played for the Bears. My sister's a captain of our Pandas there, so it was really a no-brainer for me to go to the U of A.
Yeah, well, good for you. I know the club is happy to have you, and already an interesting season through the preseason because the Golden Bears went to Belfast to play Carleton and also play against the Belfast Giants. Take us through that experience.
Yeah, I mean, that was unbelievable. I can't really think of a better way to, start off my university career, and just a great way to obviously bond with the guys. But I'd never been outside of North America, so obviously it was a lot different. But yeah, it was a great experience, and the hockey was great. The stuff that we got to do away from the rink was great, and yeah, it was an unreal way to start the year. That's for sure. All
right, so Belfast, a team in that British league, they were able to beat you guys 6-3. Tell me about the quality of their team, the rink, the fans, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're obviously a really good team. They play on the big ice over there, so that was something that I hadn't ever played on. Obviously, there's a couple teams in the U Sports here with the big ice, but for most of the guys, that was the first time on the big ice. In Belfast, they were a good team, and they have some ex-NHLers, ex-pro guys there, so they were obviously good, and a lot of skill, and they really take advantage of the extra room that you have on the big ice. So that was obviously good opportunity for us to kind of see how we line up with those pro teams.
All right, and you mentioned some of the other stuff. Give me a touristy or fun team activity that everybody experienced.
Well, we just drove around Belfast just on the bus, and you see the culture and whatnot there. Obviously it's a lot different than Edmonton, so I think just spending the time with the guys and just kind of doing things that none of us had ever done before was a great way to bond.
All right, Marc Lajoie from the Golden Bears hockey team, defenseman, joining us on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. And then you also played for the Oilers at the Young Stars tournament in Penticton. How did you find that? How did you find the competition there?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, anytime you get to go to an NHL camp, it's obviously pretty special, and all the players that are there are elite, and they're there for a reason. So that was another good opportunity for me just to play against some high level players, and obviously being having the opportunity to go to Bakersfield at the end of last year is. There's a bunch of familiarity with some of the guys and the staff and whatnot, so that obviously made it pretty easy. But yeah, it was a great experience, and I thought it went pretty well.
Marc Lajoie, Golden Bears defenseman, joining us. Marc, this is Jay. May I ask, what are you taking at U of A for studies?
Right now, I'm just in arts, just in an arts program, and still haven't really decided what I want to do yet, and still kind of figuring out my way around classes and whatnot, and just trying to find a routine on what works best for me. But for now, I haven't really decided what I really want to do yet.
I was an arts guy myself. I know what you're going through. You're just trying to navigate, how far across campus do you really want to walk from the Claire Drake? Do you want to have to go to Lister Hall or to, what's the big lecture hall? Sorry, Torrey Hall? That's quite a trek. So I'm not sure you want to spend too much time in the arts program. But hey, when I was there, the football guy, I played football at U of A, and the football guys and the hockey guys rolled in the same unit. They were pretty closely knit. Same with the basketball crew. Is there still connection? Do you guys still, as different teams at the University of Alberta, do you guys hang out, see each other on White Ave the odd time, or is it, stick to yourself?
You know what? Honestly, I haven't really, met anyone from any other sports teams or really seen them, but, it's definitely something that I'll have to do is kind of get out there and meet some of the guys and, players from other sporting teams. So, you know what, we haven't maybe done as much of that kind of stuff as we probably should have by now, but it's definitely something that I'm going to do.
Yeah, you can head down to Footfield tomorrow night. The football guys are good dudes. You guys will get along pretty well.
Yeah. No, I'm sure they're good dudes. Don't think I'm going to be able to miss our game for that, but
come on. It's an important game for them.
Mark, you're not old enough to remember your coach and your dad playing on the same team, obviously, but does either one of them regale you with stories, or do you have to get that from third parties?
You know what, I've gotten a couple stories, and I think it's a cool part of going to the U of A is, well, obviously my dad was there, but not much has changed. I mean, there's still a bunch of the little traditions and things that the Bears would do when my dad played that we're still doing as a team now. So I think that part of it's really cool. I mean, the dressing rooms barely change. I mean, my dad's telling me where he sat, and I'm pretty close to that. So that kind of stuff is cool to me. And as far as the stories go, they've mentioned a couple, but I'm sure there's a bunch of them they can't tell me.
Right. Well, I used to watch them because that's the era when I was going to the U of A and started going to games, and they were both pretty darn good. So and I know you're going to continue the tradition there for sure. Hey, Mark, thanks a lot for hopping on. All the best this season, and we'll be talking to you and your teammates and your coach throughout the year. But thank you for I'll end here. Do you know anything about McEwen yet? Did you see him in the preseason, or what do you expect this weekend?
Yeah, I was in Penticton with the Oilers when we played them, so not going to be able to tell you much about them. I've heard they're a fast, hard-working team, and obviously we're going to have to be ready to go there. So, I don't know too much about them. I guess we'll find out tomorrow, but really excited to get going.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Mark. We'll talk to you down the road.
Awesome. Thank you guys very much.
Golden Bears defenseman Marc Lajoie checking in. So that's Canada West regular season. Tomorrow, Bears at McEwen, and then they'll just move to the other side of the arena to Claire Drake for the second half of the home and home on Saturday. Cool story, and obviously his sister's on the Pandas hockey team, as we talked about with Howie Draper a couple of weeks ago. One of the great things for me now tomorrow night. Well, I don't think I'll be able to go to a game this weekend, but I'll be able to go to more Bears hockey games now, which is one of the great things about now I'm done work at 6, especially on Fridays, or the 7 o'clock games on Friday. But I first went to a U of A home game. I think it was my second year of university, because I didn't live really near the campus my first year, so I didn't do much outside of class. And then, the first time I went to a U of A game in my second year and was in Claire Drake Arena. If you go, I still get surprised. And again, I guess I'm sorry if this seems a little bit judgmental, but I'm still a little bit surprised if I meet an Edmontonian who claims to be a big hockey fan, like over the age of 30, and hasn't been to a game at Claire Drake. I'm kind of like, yes, love the Oilers, absolutely. But if you just love hockey and love local teams and local tradition and local rinks, you may want to check out a Bears game. It's pretty awesome, especially if it's an important game or a game against a rival. It's pretty cool.
Well, it's just so iconic. The smell, the sounds in there. It's like you're crammed into a can of sardines with 15 to 2,000 other people, loud, and that's where the fans are really cool. You get a Friday, Saturday night. It used to be, in my opinion. Okay, this is my opinion, but. Used to be the gold standard when you could walk over from Clare Drake Arena after a Golden Bears hockey win. You'd walk through to the main gym and you'd catch the fourth quarter of a basketball game or the last couple sets of a volleyball game and just pickled and just having a good time and ripping everybody off. Right. It was great. It was fun. It was some of the best memories are the double headers, we'd call them, at Clare Drake and main gym on campus.
Yeah. Now, of course, the basketball team, volleyball, and when I was going, I did not, I'm ashamed to say this, when I was a student, I did not go to a football game. They weren't very good, but they were at varsity.
Yeah, they were
right there. They were right there by the Butterdome and Clare Drake and all that stuff. Yeah. But I at least I don't think I ever went to a game. But I went to plenty of basketball and volleyball for hockey, and I did basketball play-by-play, and I still go to plenty of hockey as well. All right, 780-218-9999 is the EST inbox. Do you want to do our field trip tomorrow? Something else?
What I'll do is I'll get to a few of the off-topic topics that you suggested presented by William Huff, which was the grossest / weirdest things you've ever found in your fridge or kitchen. Rusty Shackelford chimed in, said cream that was left in a chest cooler that was not plugged in for months in a milk house, left to sit in the unplugged cooler for months. I can just, that smell, that sour smell.
Like you'd have to wear a mask and gloves to clean that, wouldn't you? Just to be safe? Or dispose of it? I don't know.
Lars Y said, Lars Y, what a beauty. I know he bought a couch from Yvonne's when we were going out of visit.
Sweet.
Yeah. I made a turkey and cheese Sammy last night and couldn't see the mold on the whole grain bread, but could sure taste it after the first big bite. Oh. Golly, that stinks because you're just ruining all the insides. You know,
you put all that work into making the sandwich.
And then the gate people have come to your, I guess, assistance. I saw Whale and the Wolf was in the nasty chat earlier saying that whoever that is, I don't know if it's Lucas, but they said they hate gate as well. And Brent Pleskovich says adding gate to anything is lazy. I hate it too. So Rip City Step came up with a natural, I guess, progression as he says, I prefer putting water in front of any scandal.
Yeah, well, that's just as valid as anything.
So he said water farts suck.
Water farts, yeah. Water deflate.
Water deflate, for example.
Water cookie.
There's so many ways you can go. And Jason the Acadian, not my story, but my brother Sheldon's story. Growing up, we used to go camping in BC and would always do deep fried turkey dinner there. After 2 weeks away, my parents went to cook the turkey and couldn't find it. So my dad sent my brother, who stayed home, to check the freezer. Needless to say, the turkey was not in the freezer, but on the floor beside it and moving. It is what broke the plastic seal.
Oh, jeez.
It was a long time before he ate turkey again. That's just bizarre.
I think Whale and the Wolf should call their next album Music Gate or Album Gate.
Yes, that would be, there you go. Now we're talking, Reid. And speaking, now's the time, Reid. Now's the time to talk about Whale and the Wolf, because they are going to be at Gedfest. And as you guys all know, all the nasties know, Whale and the Wolf are great friends of Edmonton Sports Talk. Obviously, you hear them a lot. But not only that, they're family and just awesome people. Gedfest, or the Gord Edgar Downey Fest, it's an annual show that's been held in Calgary. But this year it's expanded to Edmonton, and our very own Whale and the Wolf will be playing a set followed by Edmonton's premier tragically hit tribute band, Hypnotical. So that'll be happening at Saturday, October 19th at the Midway Music Hall. You'll see plenty of the EST crew there, cheering them on and celebrating with a libation or two. It's going to be a good night.
Yeah, that sounds like awesome. That sounds like a great night.
If you haven't been to a Whale and the Wolf show, do it. And especially if you're a Tragically Hip fan, because they're raising funds as well. They're raising funds for the Ben Stelter Foundation as well as the Alberta Cancer Foundation.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Be there. Come one, come all, and support our house band, the Whale and the Wolf.
You know, sometimes I get asked, do you get nervous to interview people? And the answer is no, because I do it all the time. Having said that, do you know the last time and the first time in years I was nervous to interview anybody? It was Ben.
Really?
Yes. I was like, you cannot mess this up.
Wow.
Yeah, I was shaking. Like I had the...
Well, I can understand why.
Because I was like, I can't believe I'm interviewing Ben Stelter. Like it was a special experience. And of course, we lost him not long after. But I remember talking to him. It was quick. It was about 1:10. But I'm like, what a kid! Like what a kid. Anyway, that's awesome what the Whale and Wolf is doing too. So, all right, it's almost 4:00. So here's what we have coming up. Justin Dunk from 3 Down Nation and from the Riders pre- and post-game show. We have Cowboy Cole to talk about some rodeo. The Canadian finals are going on this week. That'll be fun. My top 3 athletes I'd most like to see go on a behind-the-scenes tirade, inspired by the McDavid.
Oh, there were
video.
names for it. There were names for it coming in, Reid. Hang on.
Oh, yeah, there were.
Let me see here. McDavid vibe check.
That was a good one.
McDavid's accountability speech. Rally call. That's not bad.
That's a good one. Rally call.
I like that one.
The call to action. We will call to a break and then have a sports update. It's the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne.
Get all the latest news and takes on everything Oilers with Dustin Nielsen and Tom Gazzola on the Oil Stream. Live at noon, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com. If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to JamesHBrown.com.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit GalloLLP.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
NHL preseason continues with the Red Wings and the Leafs. The Devils facing the Flyers and the Avs battling the Golden Knights. Former Oiler Tyson Barrie signs a 1-year, $1.5 million deal with the Calgary Flames. Barrie played 65 games, recording 27 points over the last 2 seasons with the Predators. Lightning forward Connor Geekie gets a 1-game suspension for leaving the bench to start an altercation. And in the CFL, Rock Armstead of the Riders has been ruled out for Saturday's game against the Elks, while Roughriders defensive back Deontay Williams receives a 1-game suspension for dumping Khalil Pimpleton of the Red Blacks on his head. NFL injuries has Taysom Hill suffering fractured ribs against the Falcons on Sunday, while Rashee Rice of the Chiefs hits the injury reserve with a knee injury. Thursday night football action sees the Buccaneers duking it out against the Falcons, and you can come hang out down at the Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge with Lieutenant Eric for kickoff at 6:15. In baseball, it's the Mets and Brewers out in Milwaukee. The winner of that game moves on to the division series. Right now, the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
Edmonton Sports Talk, your clear choice for Edmonton Sports. Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne coming to you from the James H. Brown studio. James H. Brown personal injury law firm, the heavy hitters of injury law with over 200 years of experience. James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. Check him out online, jameshbrown.com today. Book your private consultation. Oh, We need some oxygen in the James H. Brown studio.
Are you okay?
I'm out of breath. I went and shot baskets during the break. I'm sure people know we have this little hoop and some undersized little basketball. So, but I just, instead of just shooting while you're gone, to get more, because you went to the washroom, I believe. Maybe you went out for a smoke. I don't know.
No, I went to check on some delightful
you have the
food
sausages
that are going to be coming into studio,
which we'll get to later. So I challenged myself, and this hoop is very unforgiving. It's the little plastic basketballs, and the hoop is solid plastic, and it's not very big. So
flimsy. It's very
flimsy. But I challenged myself that to get the rebound, I had to get to it before the ball bounced more than once, and I couldn't move until the ball hit the rim. And you never score on it.
Danger.
I'm tired.
That's dangerous.
I'm now worn out.
Well, we did have a little competition there earlier in the day. Best of 3. Each Zach was in, Reid was in, YouTube Trev, myself, Hernan, and Maddie. And just gonna say I took it down today. I was today's champion. Now tomorrow that could all change and go away very fast.
Okay, I think my breath is more or less recovered, which is good, because it's time for my favorite segment of the week, the afternoon debate presented by the Edmonton Garrison Curling Club. If you and your team are looking for a fun and exciting way to build some chemistry, look no further than the Edmonton Garrison Memorial Curling Club. Located on CFB Edmonton, the Garrison Curling Club offers 6 sheets of ice, a full-service bar with kitchen, and includes all equipment needed for corporate bonspiels. The Garrison Curling Club is run by Nasties. As an added bonus, they will offer 10% off ice rentals to all Edmonton Sports Talk listeners. Email curling@edmgolf.com and mention EST to book your corporate bonspiel today.
I was talking to the fellas over at the Garrison Curling Club, and a lot of people believe that this is strictly for military, and that is not the case. It is open to the public, and great place to host a corporate bonspiel. Bonspiel.
I say bonspiel.
I like saying bonspiel.
You can say it all you want,
but I think it is bonspiel.
I'd sooner you say that than bonspiel gate.
Yeah. Okay. Gonna tick off the Gators.
All right,
Zach, let's get this thing rolling.
For the afternoon debate.
Thinking of you's working up my appetite. Looking forward to a little afternoon
debate.
Rubbing sticks and stones together make the sparks ignite. And the thought of loving you is getting so exciting. Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon
debate.
Who is saying debate? Is that Angry Brian
That's
from
Angry
hell?
Brian that's a trainer from yesterday.
Your personal trainer.
It doesn't sound like him, but it could be in my nightmares. Coob, who's on the
actually
debate
voiced
there?
that?
That might be me.
No,
that's you.
Yeah,
give it to us live.
Well,
give it to
it's got some effects on it. You got to make me sound nice and smooth.
You should run that
effect
effect
like
during a sports update.
And try to
that'd be tough.
Yeah, it'd be extremely difficult. All right, debate.
It's no debate that sounds cool, but the debate today is, and with the topic, what animal is a better pet or will make a better pet? Cats or dogs? And last week, Jay, you did win, so it will be Reid's turn.
That's the only two options?
Yep. Cats or dogs. Because they're the most basic, when you ask a kid what they want, it's either a cat or a dog. I mean, they might want
I know what I'm saying.
Well, I know where Reid goes with this. Okay, you go ahead and I'll prepare something for cats.
Yeah, it's like, how is this even a debate?
Well, okay, go ahead.
All right. Well, if we're just choosing between cats and dogs, it is dogs all the way. To me, the dog truly is humanity's best friend. And isn't that really what you want from a pet? Somebody that is going to share a large portion of your life, will see you when you're at your best and when you're at your worst, and will love you no matter what, and will also be perfectly willing to be the recipient of all your love and food that he or she can possibly get. There has always been a dog in my life, and some of the, quite frankly, best friends I have ever had, human or canine, have been dogs. They are loyal. They are loving. They love you regardless of what you do for a living or how your day went. Of course, you have to treat them with respect and love in return, as you should. But to me, there is very few things in life more special than having a dog or dogs in your life. Truly wonderful creatures. Also, they are aesthetically pleasing to look at, generally quite cute animals. They enjoy leaning on you or being petted or having a nap with you. Some of the best naps I've had in my life have been with a dog by my feet or legs or even pressed against my chest.
Wow, that's truly moving and truly passionate about your animal or your friend that you talk about. Well, that was the arguments for a dog being the best pet. It's between cats and now cats and dogs. And Jay, now you will get to argue on the side of the cats.
Okay, I just want to set the precedent here. I am a by far dog guy over cat, but I have both, and I do love both. So I'm, tasked with the, challenge to say why cats are better than dogs. Well, here's the thing. One, cats live longer than dogs. They can have a much longer life. I think 17 to 20 years some cats can live, so you get to enjoy them a lot more. Cats don't require training. If you want to have a dog and be able to have friends over or take it to a dog park, you need to train that animal so as to not bite or be rude or go to the bathroom in the wrong spot. Cats are easily trained in a litter box. And cats, the best thing I like about cats, and I do disagree with you on the dog part, but I do have, I guess, a bigger dog. Cats are better to snuggle. If you just want to have a good, kitty cat on your chest while you're having a Sunday afternoon master's nap, boy, you can't find anything better than a nice warm kitty cat to lie on your chest and purr. I really do like that. And they take up less space. Cats in general take up less space around the house than dogs with toys and dog mats and dog beds. So, Zach, that is what I will say about cats versus dogs. The cats are just a better animal all around. Snuggle ability, cleanliness, longevity, and just the general well-being of your house, the state of your house.
Right.
I rest my case.
Right, and Jay, you also argued it might be more feasible to the pockets. There's less there that you have to care for with a cat. You could let it kind of roam around it by itself. It doesn't need as much attention. And then Reid's argument, very powerful, saying that it could be your best friend, and some of his best friends have come from the lovely canine creatures. And there's a lot of things stirring up in the nasty chat about this, but with the arguments presented here today, I'm personally a cat person, but I do have to give this to Reid because that argument was just absolutely amazing. So here's a round of applause.
Well, that was the most passionate I've been about one of our afternoon debates. I'm also allergic to cats.
This guy stinks.
I like animals in general, but I can't really physically engage with a cat. Like if I sit and pet a cat or have a cat on my lap, I break out into hives and itchiness. So that's also another thing for me.
I do love a good kitty cat.
Yeah, cats are. I mean, there's nothing wrong with cats. I just prefer dogs. Cats are so aloof.
That's also part of the allure. Where do they go? What are they doing? What are they thinking all the time? Yeah,
I've grown up with cats my entire life, and I had a cat that was just like a dog. He'd walk me down the back alley towards my school because I was very close to school when I was growing up, and then he'd meet me there right after school. He'd know when I'd get off, and he'd get into mischief and stuff. And I also didn't have to train him, which was nice. But he would just snuggle with me and stuff like that. So I've never had a dog though, but they are great and all got different personalities.
Now, as for the longevity, my dog is 18 years and 4 months old.
Wow.
And I had another dog live to 17 years and 10 months. So you can have some very...
18 human years?
Yes.
That's not in dog. What's up with the dog years, anyways? They say that a year of a life of a dog is worth, or 7 dog years is one life of a human.
Yeah, but that's not.
Who came
totally
up with
accurate.
that? I mean, why
Some
can't you
phony
just say
scientist came up with it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people chiming in here about, Rip City Step says Jay lost this immediately. I believe in general, and Zach did put up a poll in the nasty chat. Dogs are, leading the way, 69% to 31% dogs over cats. Dean and Clairview, I cannot
voting.
say what you just wrote in. I'm sorry, but it alluded to a different name for a kitty cat and why he chooses to prefer kitty cats.
That's right. My dog could legally go to the bar. I just emailed you a picture if you're able to get it put up at some point during the show today, Zach. I know it's kind of on the fly. That was the most interesting debate topic we've had of the 3 or 4 we've had because I actually cared.
Look at this. Tube Socks
found
sent a picture
interested.
in. I'm going to get that one up.
Hey, Tube Socks. They look alike.
Isn't that amazing?
He's one of those guys that looks like his dog.
Oh, my.
But didn't we do... here's the sad thing, everybody. We're a month into the show, and I can't remember everything we've done. Didn't we do a weirdest... No, we didn't do strangest pet you've ever had. We did strangest animal that's ever been in your house.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Because it was ducks. And maybe,
based on your duck thing.
We might have to have another duck report here soon.
Yeah, we'll do want to do...
we can get some... get some duck pictures. And the duck was in this morning. So
the duck's moved.
The duck has moved out to the duck shed. And it didn't like it.
The duck got its own place.
We put it in like a cage inside the duck pen so it can get used to the other adult ducks that are there. And it wasn't going that well. I don't think little Daisy was getting the best treatment. So now Daisy is residing in our garage. The house had to go. Daisy's loud and obnoxious and quite honestly, poops everywhere. Actually, I will get a funny picture of that the girls took the other day. They caught Daisy mid-poop. And it is one of the most incredible pictures I have ever seen. I had to look twice.
Yeah, for some reason, I find myself wanting to see that. And then as I say that to myself,
weird?
I think, why do I want to see that? What have I become?
You trust me, you want to see it because it just describes everything I've been trying to get across about how weird duck poop is. Because do recall, they do not pee.
Oh, yeah, it's all poo all the time.
Yeah.
Kind of like this show. That should be our slogan. All poo all the time. Speaking of this show, speaking of this station, are we not on the road tomorrow?
Reid, we are on the road. We are. Hang on.
Oh, he's got his notes. We're going to, is it Fort Vermilion we're going to? That's like a 7.5 hour drive.
No.
Oh, no, sir, it's Fort Saskatchewan. I got my forts mixed up.
Got your forts wrong. We are going to South Fort Chev. We will be there from 6 to 6. We are live on location all day. The Fort Saskatchewan AAA U17 team will be on site helping with the barbecue in the afternoon. They'll be there from 4 to 6, and we are going to have the head coach of that team live.
Oh, nice.
On location, right in between us on the Reid Wilkins Show. And the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Saskatchewan. This is one that if you are out in the area, if you live there, if you work there, and you want to stop by, they are taking donations for the Boys and Girls Club of Fort Saskatchewan for their youth sports programming. They are in need of school snacks for the kids that are able to partake in that program. And this, I'm excited about this. German pretzels and bratwurst in the afternoon.
Oh, wow.
What, Zachary?
What happened, Zachary?
Oh, I'm just not there. I have to be here.
Oh, you're here actually making sure the station gets broadcast.
But I don't get bratwurst.
So you're gonna miss out. Hey, you know what? That works out well because I've got some Fuge sausages ready to go. So we're gonna enjoy some here in the
we're having Fuge sausage as well. We're doing my top 3 for Fuge sausage.
I believe the sales manager, the general manager, is going to be on the morning show with Dustin and Lieutenant Eric. That is Mr. Nerf Gun himself. And then we're going to have Claire Devaney, who is kind of the liaison between Edmonton Sports Talk. She's also on The Bits podcast with a friend of EST, Quinn Phillips.
Yeah.
She will be on our show tomorrow. It's going to be a loaded show, but we will all be on location. Looking forward to it. So if you're in the area, stop by, say hi, grab a burger, have a brat. and maybe a worst.
Zach, do we have the photo, or do you want to do that later?
Just a bit later.
We'll do it later. We can do it anytime before 6 o'clock. All right, we got a very fun guest coming up to talk about the Canadian Finals Rodeo and his career in and around rodeo. Cowboy Cole is going to check in, but first, a sports update for Sit and Sleep.
NHL preseason continues with the Red Wings and the Leafs, the Devils facing the Flyers, and the Avs battling the Golden Knights. Former Oiler Tyson Barrie signs a one-year, $1.5 million deal with the Calgary Flames. Barrie played 65 games over 2 seasons with the Predators, recording 27 points. Lightning forward Connor Geekie gets a 1-game suspension for leaving the bench to start an altercation. In the CFL, Gavin Cobb is out for Saturday's game against the Riders, while Javon Leake and Tevin Jones, all for the Elks, are available for the game. Rock Armstead of the Riders is out of the game as well due to a shoulder injury, while Roughriders defensive back Deontay Williams received a 1-game suspension for dumping Khalil Pimpleton of the Red Blacks on his head. Thursday night football action sees the Buccaneers duking it out against the Falcons, and you can come down to the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge to hang out with Lieutenant Eric for the game. Kickoff goes at 6:15. In baseball, it's the Mets and Brewers out in Milwaukee, with the winner of that one moving on to the division series. And right after the break, Cowboy Cole joins the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
780 is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton, 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online. 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
You want the heavy hitters on your team, both on and off the ice. If you've been injured in a car accident, call the heavy hitters of injury law. James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers. With over 200 years of combined injury law experience, their precedent-setting lawyers are ready to help. Locally owned and proud Edmonton Oiler fans, James H. Brown and Associates wants to support you with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, head to James H. Brown.
GCL Diesel has been serving oil country since 1972. From diesel cars to SUVs to pickups. From farm tractors to school buses to a big rig. From diesel generators to forklifts, GCL can test, troubleshoot, and repair all diesel fuel system components. Whether it's injectors, pumps, turbos, filters, or additive, GCL has the parts you need to keep your diesel running the way it should. For genuine diesel parts at wholesale prices, visit GCL Diesel in the West End or online at GCLDiesel.com. GCL Diesel. Diesel understood.
Gmail.com. All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. I told you that Cowboy Cole was coming up. He just had to cancel, like literally 10 seconds after I said he was coming up. That's okay. Of course, the Canadian Finals Rodeo ongoing at Rogers Place. Maybe we'll try to get somebody on the show tomorrow when we are in Fort Saskatchewan to talk a little bit more about that. Hope you're having a great day. We got the Elks game coming up on Saturday against the Riders. It is a vital, vital game for the green and gold. They could be eliminated from the playoffs depending on how things shake down. Rock Armstead will not play at running back for Saskatchewan. He had that one big game for them, but now is banged up. Oilers tomorrow against Vancouver, final preseason game. We're going to have Oil Stream pregame and postgame with Tom and Hernan and Cassian. So pregame at 7, postgame obviously after the game. You can watch that one. That one will be on Sportsnet. Part of the so each team has its own sort of regional TV deal. And part of the Canucks one is that all the games are televised. All the preseason games are televised, so you can catch the Oilers and the Canucks on the tube tomorrow. Golden Bears football home to UBC. Massive game for them tomorrow at Footfield at 7. And we told you the Golden Bears hockey team has a home-and-home with McEwen at McEwen tomorrow, and then at Claire Drake on Saturday night. So a lot of stuff going on in and around the City of Champions to fulfill your sports needs. You got the sausage. This is great.
Well, we've had some people jump in that said they, in the EST inbox here saying, I'll jump on and be the cowboy. We can fake interview.
Well, we don't even know how much cowboy is and how much entertainer he is. That was going to be the fun part of the interview.
Yeah, there was lots to discuss. But hey, he's busy at the arena doing his thing. I will say though, if it is the 50th year of the CFR, it's back in Edmonton. It was had a hiatus
because went
down to Red Deer.
Was it in Saskatoon for a year or two? I can't remember.
Maybe. And then and I think they settled in Red Deer because that was they were it all had to do with Rexall Place being shut down, right?
Right.
And then they didn't want them in Rogers Place. Too fancy. Didn't want it to be stinking up.
Yeah, no, it was not in Saskatoon. My bad. For some reason I thought it went.
But 50 years.
Oh no, wait a minute. In July 2016, it was announced the event would move to Saskatoon in 2017. And then that fell through and it stayed at Edmonton for one more year. And then, it wasn't. So Saskatoon was involved, but it never actually got it. Fun fact. Share that with your friends tonight. All right. Is he coming on now?
Oh, no,
he's not. He's ditched this show.
He doesn't care.
That's okay. All right.
We still care about you, Cowboy Cole.
I used to cover the occasional rodeo when I worked in Lloydminster. There was a rodeo at a place called Lee Park, and it was sort of in the Vermilion area. I think it was north of Vermilion or north of Manville in that area, and it was a beautiful spot. It was what was it? Was it the juncture of the Vermilion River and the North Sask? And it was a park, and there was a really nice sort of natural hill there you could sit on and watch the rodeo. Beautiful location. They'd get huge crowds. And I knew about rodeo. I knew the events. I knew 8 seconds. I knew which was judged and which was timed. I knew the basics, but I didn't realize that the cowboys and the cowgirls, they're driving around to make as much money and get as many points as they can. So, and there'd be more than one rodeo in a weekend.
Oh,
so
gosh,
one guy is doing if he's a bronc rider, he's doing somewhere on Friday night, and he's going somewhere else for Saturday afternoon and somewhere else for Sunday afternoon to try to get as much as he can. And as people who watch the sport or are in the sport know, sometimes that could be a second if you have a tough ride or a really nasty bronc or bull or whatever.
Or a zero.
You get...
Right? I mean, that's the reality of it. Do you know at the Calgary Stampede, we love going to the Calgary Stampede, that they'll have a Pool A and a Pool B, because I believe it's 10 days.
Yeah, it's a long time.
So they'll have Pool A, which is the first 5 days. Pool B is the first 4 days, second 4 days, then they go into the finals and all that stuff. They will have rodeo or cowboys and cowgirls that compete in the first portion, then literally leave the country, go down to Montana, Wyoming, or Idaho, places that are relatively close, do another 3-day rodeo, and come back up for the finals. So they're literally competing for 6 or 7 days in a row and driving, 15 to 20 hours straight.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy, crazy. Waddy in Cloverdale says, Cowboy Cole, big cat guy. Is he? I think that was just a little bit of a, throwing some shade. But yeah, interesting picture came in for EST Farm Report. This comes in from Hydro. It was 7:15 and getting dark, so not the best picture, but this black bear was fat and happy in our oat field and wasn't letting my swather cutting oats bother him.
Oh, wow.
Huge black bear.
Let me see. Is there a photo?
Yeah, we'll have to send this over to the
I know
Ice Cube.
All right.
This is terrible, but...
Okay. Oh, wow. That's scary. Okay, couple things. And this is the fun part, doing this on the fly. Is the photo of Rocket ready? Okay, give us 20 seconds because since we're adjusting on the fly because we had a guest cancel, but this is one thing I like about doing a show, and Jay is learning of this about me, that we plan, but it's also fun to adjust. So we did 3 rehearsal shows the last week of August, and I think now you have to tell the story about April and Quick Six because that was during a rehearsal. That has not been on air ever, right?
Okay.
No. But first, we'll get to that in about a minute. This is from August, so he was already 18. That is Rocket and I at Odd Company in Oliver. Took Rocket in his pouch, and he sat on the Odd Company deck while I enjoyed a hot dog and a beer.
What breed of dog is Rocket?
He's a poodle.
A poodle.
So he's a mix of a toy and a miniature. Yeah.
We watch the Westminster Dog Show every year, so you get your fill of schnauzers and minis, and there's a lot of variety. And the poodle variety has exploded. There's doodle everything, mixtures of dogs that are taking on the doodle. Because aren't they hypoallergenic? They're not as allergenic as other dogs. That word,
which is nice.
Yeah.
So that is Rocket, who's probably sleeping right now at my parents'.
Hi, Rocket.
As we do the show. Yeah. So he was born late May 2006.
What a sweet looking dog.
He's great. He's awesome. He's still in pretty good shape. Still quite mobile. His hearing and sight are not great, but he's quite mobile.
18 years.
Enjoys his meals and enjoys his naps.
Wow.
All right. So let's get to this. Your wife.
My wife.
Now, don't hate the Milne family. Has a
no.
connection to the Calgary Stampeders.
Well, she grew up in northeast of Calgary, and one of her, being in the horsey world and all, one of the things she wanted to do before it was too late in life, or before she, committed to family and all this stuff, was to go and be involved in the Calgary Stampede. So she was in 2006 or 2007, I can't really, one of those years, the Calgary Stampede princess.
Were you guys married?
We got engaged throughout. We had already been dating for 4 or 5 years, 5 years, say. But we got engaged during, and that's another story. I'll have to tell you about that one.
Okay.
They weren't too happy about me putting a ring on her finger during that.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyways, so she was down there for a year doing, being a part of the Calgary Stampede royalty, as they used to call it. You'd go events here, every week you'd have event after event, and especially during the Stampede, you were busy. So she found a job in Okotoks, and she was living down there for the year. The lady that rides Quick Six. Now, Quick Six is the Calgary Stampeder touchdown horse. You've all seen it. Labor Day memories, good or bad, you've seen Quick Six.
Right.
The lady that rides Quick Six and has for a long time, her name is Karen, and she was pregnant at the time during that year. So Karen is a good family friend of my wife's family, and she said, well, April, if you're down here for the year, can you ride Quick Six and be the Calgary Stampede touchdown horse rider? So, of course, what an opportunity. And so, my wife literally jumped on it and said, yeah, let's do this. And so I would go down there and visit her and be her hand. Several times we saw a streaker run across the whole stadium towards us, and as this isn't the story, by the way, as the streaker was getting closer, my wife said to me, oh my gosh, Jason, I went to high school with that guy.
Oh my goodness. What did she recognize first?
Oh my.
Oh, behave.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
she's going to hate me now. Is that it for April and me?
No. It's fine. So part of being the rider of Quick Six is that when the national anthem's sung or there's a touchdown, obviously Quick Six takes off down the visitor's sideline and to the end zone, then back. And during the national anthem, like that horse is ripping. That thing is bred to run. It's moving. All the police officers that work on the infield know that Quick Six, when there's a national anthem or a touchdown, to move against the stadium, as to move out and make room for Quick Six. Well, it must have been first day on the job for this poor officer, and they're told if anybody's standing there, give her, like, you can't stop. It's like if you're going to hit a deer, don't bother slamming on the brakes. Just give her. So this poor cop was standing there, and April was hauling, and whammo, like hat flying, legs in the air, and of course she was just gone. But the crowd, the crowd erupted and cheered. It was like there was fireworks going off in the stadium, where as if the Stampeders had scored a touchdown. So that was quite a story, and it was a fun year to be down there. And I think at the time they were quite a successful team. Like that would have been Joffrey Reynolds would have been quarterback at that time, or running back at that time. It was a good time for the Stampeders. So yeah, that's the story of running over a police officer.
And he was fine though, just to clarify.
He got up pretty darn fast.
Probably quite embarrassed. I'm sure his colleagues gave him quite a ribbing about it.
Yes.
So yeah, that was 06 or 07, you said?
What's that?
The year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Stampeders have been good since about the early 90s, except for, I think, 03 to 05, and now the last couple of years, which actually leads into a good sports topic.
Well, yeah, and we're going to be getting into it with
Dave
Justin
Dickinson.
Dunk.
Yeah, we'll talk more about with Dunk as well. Calgary's not good. They could still finish ahead of the Elks, quite frankly. But last year they were 6-12, did get into the playoffs. And I mean, they have been, they missed they missed the playoffs 02 to 04. They got back in. And then remember that was that epic Esks win in the West Semi when Moss came off the bench, and I think they were down 23-9 at the half and won 33-23. Grey Cup win in 08, Grey Cup loss in 12, Grey Cup win in 14, Grey Cup losses in 16, 17, Grey Cup win in 18. And Dickinson said, because he was asked yesterday about his, basically about his, are you worried about being on the hot seat? And we watched the video. He didn't sound angry. It was kind of regular Dave Dickinson tone, but he dropped the word McDavid used in that.
It wasn't retaliatory.
Said, I blank and don't care about that. I'm just here to work, is what you would expect a coach to say. But it's weird because there's not been a lot of that around the Stampeders. Quite frankly, like if you're under 30, those 4 years, those 3 years, they weren't very good. 02 to 4, and it was kind of like Buono to Huffnagel, and now to Dickinson. But now we're seeing they're not quite as good.
My whole existence, Calgary's been good. This is the first time that I can recall a Calgary team that's not competing for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, again, 02 they went 6-12. 03 they went 5-13. 04 they went 4-14. I think it was in 03 the Esks shut them out in the Labor Day rematch. I think there was a 38-0 game that one year. But that was the year, remember, I think it was in that era, and here's one of those beautiful things we didn't know we were going to talk about. Remember, Federic was the owner, and Kevin Federic was his son and a quarterback, and it was kind of like he got playing time because he was the owner's son.
Yes.
And that's where they sort of dropped off a little bit, but they've been...
Then they had an offensive lineman named Dan Feder-Kyle that played at the Dinos as a defensive lineman, got drafted by the Indianapolis Colts, and they turned him into an offensive lineman. Just a beast of a man.
And you played against him?
Yes.
Were the Dinos good when you were playing?
No.
So they got good after, because I remember early in Morris's tenure, there was like a 70-3 game or something like that.
Yeah, Blake Nill was the coach there at one point, and he kind of turned that program around.
Right.
And then left and went to UBC.
All right, so here I probably shouldn't bring this up now, but I'll give you we'll do a short answer for this. Because Nill was in Calgary, they were good. And now he's in UBC, and they're good. So, Saban in the States, he was at LSU and Alabama, and every team he was at was good.
Yep.
Are they that good at recruiting? Are they that good tactically? Are they that good about making all the players 10% better than they were when they came in? You know what I mean? Like
all of the above.
It's all okay.
No, it really is. They have an ability to get the most out of a player. They have an ability to sell a player to come to their program that will help their program. Mm-hmm. And they have ability to keep players around as well. Because that's a hard thing too, is players that come in, like Chris Morris has a philosophy now that it's 5-year guys. He wants guys there for 5 years. You might see the field in your second or third year. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So you almost have to pay your dues, get better, learn the Golden Bears way, and then you can find your way to the field. So yes, it's not by accident that the Nick Sabans of the world and the Blake Nils of the world constantly have successful programs. Not at all.
Yeah, I find that interesting. And I mean, if you look at, I know Saban's not in Alabama anymore, but it reaches the point where I know they always do the work, but some of the recruiting is just done for you because you've been so successful. And the player will think, oh, if I go there, I got a 30% chance, like 30% of the players make the NFL. I guess that's where I'll go if I'm a high-end guy because it's already close to a pro program, so to speak.
Well, if you tell me you're getting recruited by Alabama Crimson Tide or Florida International, where are you going?
Yeah. Well, I guess in our city, if would you want to be recruited by Golden Bears hockey or Ryerson hockey or whatever they're called? Is that the one that's now Toronto Metro?
Well,
whatever?
and there's
But
also the nil money now that's changing a lot of the landscape of college football. Because if you have boosters and people that are willing to get these, 5-star athletes to come to your school for a paycheck, that's why teams are able to turn it around.
All right. You can participate, 780-218-9999. Our off-topic topic, of course, the most disgusting thing you've ever found in your fridge and or kitchen, moldy old food or whatever it is. You can also touch on the McDavid, what are we calling it again? The rally cry video?
Yeah.
Something like that, the McDavid rally cry video. That's going to be the jumping off point for my top 3, which is coming up. But first, we got a sports update for Wheelers RV.
NHL preseason has the Red Wings up against the Leafs, the Devils facing off against the Flyers, and the Avs battling the Golden Knights. It was former Oiler Tyson Barrie signing a 1-year, $1.25 million deal with the Calgary Flames. Over the past 2 seasons, in 65 appearances with the Predators, Barrie recorded 27 points. Lightning forward Connor Geekie gets a 1-game suspension for leaving the bench to start an altercation during yesterday's game against the Panthers. For the Elks in the CFL, Gavin Cobb is out for Saturday's game against the Riders, while Javon Leake and Tevon Jones are available. Rock Armstead of the Riders won't play due to a shoulder injury, while Roughriders defensive back Deontay Williams is out with a 1-game suspension for dumping Khalil Pimpleton of the Red Blacks on his head. Thursday night football action sees the Buccaneers duking it out against the Falcons, and you can come hang out with Lieutenant Eric down at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for that action with kickoff at 6:15. In baseball, it's the Mets and the Brewers out in Milwaukee, and the winner of that game moves on to the division series. Right after the break, Reid gets into his top 3 here on the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. I'm Zachary Kubish, and this sports update has been brought to you by Wheelers RV Storage. Conveniently located 5 minutes east of St. Albert, Wheelers RV is your safe and secure place to store your RV, boat, or whatever it is you want to store. Visit them at wheelersrvstorage.com to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months, get 1 free. Go to wheelersrvstorage.com today and get your storage needs taken care of. We're right back with the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne after the break.
Your brand deserves more than just a whisper, it deserves a buzz. At the Hive Product Marketing, they specialize in promotional products that bring the buzz. From eye-catching giveaways to unforgettable keepsakes, they got the perfect products to make your brand stand out and get noticed. Visit the Hive Product Marketing and let them create the buzz your business deserves. The Hive Product Marketing, the official merch partner of Edmonton Sports Talk. Visit them online at thehiveproductmarketing.com.
It's crunch time for your taste buds, because for a limited time, A&W is collaborating with Ruffles to bring you the Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger, your favorite teen burger, and your favorite Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips, combined into one unique taste sensation. It's grass-fed beef. It's one-of-a-kind ridges and crunch. Try it in all its teen burger glory, or crunch into its equally tasty sidekick, the Ruffles Crunch Buddy Burger, for just $4.99. Try one today at your neighborhood A&W.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Since 1952, William Huff has been the heartbeat of Edmonton's advertising world. From humble beginnings to a citywide powerhouse, we've been the go-to for signage from print to design and installation. Partnering with Edmonton's top sports franchises and major events, we've helped shape the city's global reputation. Our secret? Unmatched customer service, decades of experience, and a passion for excellence we call the William Huff Advantage. Visit us online at williamhuff.com.
All right, we are back with the Reid Wilkins Show. And I just want to mention, I know, Zach, on your sports update there, you mentioned Wheeler's RV and boat storage. And just wanted to let you all know, go to wheelersrvstorage.com because now's the time. Now's the time when you're starting to winterize your boat, your RV, looking for a place to store it other than taking up half your driveway or out at your in-laws, which you don't need to go to. You can go to Wheeler's. Receive 1 month free with the sign-up of your storage plan as well. They are a great partner of EST, so go and check them out if you are looking or if you know somebody looking for RV storage. WheelersRVstorage.com. Check them out today. 5 minutes east of St. Albert. Very close. Accessible.
Thanks for taking that. I was in no position to talk. No condition to talk. I was in a position to talk.
You were.
I ate those sausages too fast during the commercial. And then you were like, you could have had one on air. And I was like, oh yeah, I'd ever think of that.
Yeah, the lemon arugula chicken. Zach, what did you think of the Fuge sausages that came in here?
I thought it was immaculate. I tried one. I think it was almost a smoky, like a jalapeno smoky the one time. Every single sausage that I've had from Fuge sausage so far has been good. And you brought the plate to me originally, which was very kind of you. Thank you for that. And I had it sitting here for a couple of minutes, and I was waiting for Reid's top three to start, and I was just like, I got to dig in here. So I ate the full plate, cleaned it, and I would love to have more if I could.
All right.
Yeah, I would say screw that. Reid couldn't wait either. Those things were gone.
I couldn't wait, and I probably ate more than I should. Hopefully, I left you guys enough.
No.
All right. Before we get to my top three for Fuge sausage, let's hear it once again. The full Connor McDavid rally cry video that is in the Inside the NHL documentary that rolls out on Prime Video tomorrow.
Right now. Right now. Right now. Not ideal, but it's happened so many times. But that's not good enough. Finals. Dig the in right now. Whatever the you have. That is not good enough. Let's go get one win at home. One win, and we'll see what happens. But dig the in.
All right.
Goosebumps.
So that's, again, we were talking about this off of the top of the show. If you missed it or just want to make sure you get the message. So Prime Video, Inside the NHL, all 6 episodes available tomorrow. Episode 5 is called Cup or Bust Part 1. Episode 6 is called Cup or Bust Part 2. So a lot on the Oilers and Panthers. It sounds like there's a lot of Tkachuk, Draisaitl, McDavid, and some Hyman. And Mark Lazarus, who kind of did a bit of a summary for The Athletic and NewYorkTimes.com, he made an interesting point. He said needed a little more Hyman, and I could see why. As we know, he's interesting and thoughtful to hear from. So he hoped he wished they would have included a little more Zach Hyman. Having said that, to the average hockey fan, you probably want to see McDavid, Draisaitl, and Tkachuk. Though, yeah, McDiamond, Hyman might be the most, nothing against those other three guys, he might be the most insightful to hear from. But anyway, based off that, presented by Food Sausage. Food Sausage is the best sausages you will ever eat. Locally made and packed full of flavor. Order online or visit them in store, 6736 99th Street. Take advantage of their Edmonton Sports Talk discount. 10% off your order by entering the online code EST or just mention Edmonton Sports Talk in the store. They have free delivery in Edmonton on orders over $100. As Food Sausage says, you can't beat our meat. And we're enjoying some in studio right now. The top three, this is going to be fun. The top three athletes I would most like to go see on a behind-the-scenes tirade.
Okay.
Top three athletes I would most like to see go on a behind-the-scenes tirade. I now do not have to include Connor McDavid because we've seen him do it. And you can have your suggestions at 780-218-9999 or in the nasty chat or emailing Reid at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. So I'm going to pick one Oiler for this, and then I'll go off to other sports. And Zach, you have that other bit of audio for the third one? Did I send you that? I didn't send it to you?
The third bit? No, I only have the one.
You don't have the other one that's on the lineup. Oh, that's sad. Something went wrong. Okay, we'll see if we can get it to you here as we move along.
Can I ask you something then first, though?
Yes.
If Connor McDavid did not have this, outburst.
Yes.
Would have he been a person that you would have had or considered for
I
this?
don't know, actually, because I never thought of doing this list until today.
Right. But it might actually fit the bill.
But it might, maybe he would have been one. Where
somebody
I would have said, what would he be like behind the scenes?
You just want to see freak out
right
on his teammates. That's an interesting question because up until, obviously we had the soundbite earlier, but it was cut and put together. This is the full. I mean, that's worth watching this series right there.
Zach, I'm sending you the audio. This will be the third one on my list, so you should have it in time.
And you and Dustin and Maddie were.
Yeah, well, number 2 is Dustin's pick, actually.
Okay.
But number 1, and I really do this in order, but the first one, top 3 athletes I'd most like to see go on a behind-the-scenes tirade, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Wow.
I wanted to see what an angry Nuge would be like to his teammates. Would he get as profanity laden as McDavid? Would he get as angry? Like, Nuge is so polite and under control. But again, we know they get mad. We know they say things to each other. He's one of the leaders on the team, but he's not the leader. I mean, McDavid and Draisaitl, maybe even Nurse might be larger voices and presences in that locker room. So I'd like to see a Nuge tirade. I'd be curious to see how he would execute that.
I did not see that one coming. I'll for sure say that. Obviously, like I guess, how can I say this now? But I was, the first thought that came to my head is Nuge would never freak out like that.
But people thought that about McDavid. Everyone's like, he never does anything. He just sits there. He's so stoic all the time.
Edmontonians and if Oilers fans know Nuge a lot better than they would McDavid. I would say if you asked, 10 Oilers fans who you think was capable of a freak out, even prior to this video coming out, you said Connor McDavid or Nuge, it would be 10 out of 10 McDavid. I don't think.
Yeah, that's why I'd like to see what a Nuge one would be like.
So I guess it's making your case.
Yeah, what qualifies as a rally cry video for Nugent Hopkins?
It'd be like, oh, shucks, you great athletes. I love you. It'd be the nicest freak out ever.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering what it would actually be
now
like.
we have to see this.
We have to get him mad. We have to get him on the show and get him mad. No, we won't do that. Did that email come? Okay, have that ready for my third one. My second one is actually Dusty's. Who do you think he said? Come on.
Did he pick LeBron?
He picked LeBron.
What a dork.
I hope he plays the store warning.
What? Who cares?
Dusty, he's obsessed with him.
You want to see him freak out?
He probably does it all the time.
Haven't you seen him freak out when he takes a phantom elbow to the face every playoff series? Get out of here, LeBron.
He strikes me as the type of guy that would always be challenging his teammates or just glaring at them across the locker room.
Well, now
I'm scoring 40. You can't score 4.
Yeah. Now that Bronny Jr. is on the Lakers, maybe he will freak out on his son. That'll
be interesting. Eh?
That'd be just like home.
Like imagine the highlight shows when the first assist from one to the other. Now is Bronny going to play a lot? I don't even know for sure.
I don't know.
He's a rookie. How good is he? Well, he's in the NBA, so I guess he's pretty good. I mean, he could probably score on our hoop here in the studio.
He's
the
from
station.
all accounts, he's serviceable. Is he a bona fide NBA player? I mean, to be determined. Anything can happen, but not from what I've seen or heard.
So for Dustin,
okay, hang on. Do not get past it. Like LeBron freaks out all the time on national TV.
But you could say McDavid shows emotion on the ice and on the bench. We just don't hear what he says in the dressing room.
Flop and roll around on the floor like a
Do you
fish
mean
out
this
of water.
about LeBron, or are you trolling
Yes.
Dustin?
No.
Okay. You think he's
he's gotten better in his age and wisdom.
Okay.
But when he was younger, it was annoying. When he was on the Heat, God, every time you touched him, it freaking out.
That's how old is LeBron now? He's 39. And how old is Bronny? 20?
19?
He's 20? He'd have to be, it couldn't be if LeBron's 39.
32.
That's how prolific LeBron is. He started having children when he was 7. All right. So LeBron James for Dustin Nielsen. What would a behind-the-scenes tirade look like for him? Now, my third one, I admit, is out of left field, but I have something for it. Okay.
There's a story arc to this.
Well, it just made my weird imagination went off. And that one is former CFL and NFL kicker Mike Vanderjet. Remember him?
How can't you? He's Canadian.
Okay.
Played for the Argos.
Now, here's back to the Pro Bowl, a sideline interview by Peyton Manning. You hear the end of the reporter's question because Vanderjet had sort of said some public stuff criticizing Manning and his teammates. And then here's Manning being asked about it and responding.
Made some comments questioning maybe your passion and your and the personality of you and Tony Dungy as to being winners.
Yeah, that's hard to believe, Lane. Here we are. I'm out of my 3rd Pro Bowl. I'm about to go in and throw a touchdown to Jerry Rice. We're honoring the Hall of Fame. We're talking about our idiot kicker who got liquored up and ran his mouth off. So, hey, Al, Dan, what has the sports world come to? We're talking about idiot kickers. He has ruined kickers for life. Akers and Vinatieri, these guys are great guys. They've been getting killed all week because our idiot ran his mouth. So when I get home, I'll deal with it. Tony and I talked about it. It's kind of funny, really, when you think about it. Get in. If he is still a teammate, we'll deal with it. You know, that remains to be seen. But the sad thing is, Lynn, he's a good kicker. He's a good kicker, but he's an idiot.
And by the way, when he goes in there, Gideon, there's a play happening with a guy scoring a touchdown while that's going on. So here's why I say Vanderjet as a guy I'd like to hear do a tirade in the dressing room. So the Colts have a bad first half, and Manning is like 9 for 19 with 2 picks. Can you imagine what Vanderjet could get away with? All right, guys, let's get going. I'm an idiot, Peyton. You're throwing a guy's wearing the other color. Who's the idiot now?
Oh, that's dangerous.
At least when I kick, I know the direction I'm kicking it in. I know I'm not supposed to turn around and kick it back towards my own end. You're throwing to the other team.
Reid, you know how I feel about kickers.
I don't know if he would do that.
You know how I feel about kickers.
Yeah, and I don't get it. They score points.
Good kickers do. Not stupid kickers like Vanderjet.
He was a good kicker.
He was a good kicker.
He was a very good kicker.
Is that what led to him coming back to coming to the CFL? Because he's a Canadian.
No, I think he was in the CFL first. Was he not?
No, I don't believe so.
We'll check his.
I think he came late in the career to the Argonauts.
He's now 54 years of age.
Really?
Vanderjet, I guess. He was Riders 93. Some other league for a couple of years. Argos 96 to 97, Colts 98 to 05, Cowboys 06, and then Argos in 08.
I thought that's where he finished it.
So a couple of years, and then
I was going to have to chalk that one up to a goof up.
And then he was with the Colts. So There he was. And yeah, he played for the Colts for a couple seasons after the idiot kicker comment and the response by Manning.
They must have hashed it out because he was drunk when he made these comments, and it was kind of caught off guard.
Yeah,
so
it was.
He probably went to Peyton and said, "Hey, look, man, you're right. I'm wrong. I mean, what do you say? It's Peyton Manning. Whatever he says." And now it's a clip. I mean, now it's a part of the Reid Wilkins show, for goodness sake. This thing's going to live on in...
Well, Manning accused him of being drunk. I don't know if they confirmed the drunkenness, but it's pretty funny.
So Rip City stepped... Nuge fights once every 3 years just to let people know he's still that guy.
Yeah, people... Okay, who's he fought? He fought
says
Monahan?
he saw Nuge beat up Sean Monahan and Justin Hall when he was mad.
And he fought... He has 2 other fights. Who was he? He fought a Chicago guy. And he fought a Vancouver guy. Did he fight Hamhuis for Vancouver? And he fought, I know you're looking it up, Goob. I should know this. Yeah, he went crazy on Justin Hall of the Leafs, right?
Yeah.
And he fought Monahan. That's a famous one. And he fought the Chicago guy has a kind of a unique name. Who was it? Give me a hint, Coop. Do you have it on Hockey Fights?
I do. So I don't know what kind of
about
hint.
the Chicago guy.
Well, it was back in 2017.
Yeah, I can see the fight from my perch at Rogers Place.
Okay.
What number was it?
It's a longer name,
number?
Right?
It is a longer name. It's...
Give me his first name.
Well, it starts with a V, his first name.
Victor?
Vinny.
Oh, what was the guy's name? Was Hamhuis the other one?
Hamhuis.
He fought. That was
Monahan,
his first fight.
Hall.
And then the Vancouver guy. Oh my God. Or the Chicago guy. I'm going crazy here. What was his name? He was not a star. He was like a 3rd or 4th liner.
Yeah, he was a depth piece for Chicago.
Did his last name end in EV?
No E or V.
No,
you're never gonna get this.
Yes, I will. I know it.
Well, he's fought 2 people that have had their names start with V, but I don't know if you're ever gonna get it.
Wait a minute. He has 4 fights, right? Does he have 5 fights?
4.
He has 4. Justin Hall. Is that one confirmed?
Yes. You got the 3 out of 4.
Sean Monahan.
Yes.
Dan Hamhuis and this Vancouver guy or this Chicago guy. Did he? Oh man.
He played for the Blackhawks
and the Predators,
Coyotes, Panthers, Sabres, and Penguins most recently.
Oh, he's been around.
Wilkes-Barre.
Give me the first letter of his last name.
H. He wore number 28.
Oh, maybe it's not who I was thinking of.
I don't think it is.
He fought a Chicago guy. Oh, Hinostroza. Vinny Hinostroza.
Oh,
yep. Vinny
wow.
Hinostroza. I should have got that.
Yes. Wow.
Did anybody get it in the nasty chat or text again? Somebody would have got it. I should have remembered that as soon as you said Vinny. Vinny Hinostroza. See, I said EZ. There was a Z-A-E-V. There was a Z-A at the end.
Wow. That is impressive.
Vinny Hinostroza. Nuge fought.
I didn't think that was coming.
How did we start talking about this in the James H. Brown studio? James H.
Cowboy
Brown
Cold canceled on us. That's what happened.
The heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com. Book your private consultation today. We will not have Vinny Hinostroza on the show today, but who knows down the road. Sports news in Limerick form. Justin Dunk from 3 Down Nation. And we'll qualify somebody for our fly away to LA for the 780. Break and then an update with Zach.
Conveniently located 10 minutes west of St. Albert, Wheeler's RV Storage will provide you with safe, secure storage for your RV, boat, or whatever you need to store. Open 7 days a week with gated keypad access and extra large stalls. Now is the time to take advantage of their limited time offer. Buy 6 months and get 1 month free. Now's the time to go to WheelersRVStorage.com. That's Wheeler's RV Storage. Safe, secure storage. Visit them today at WheelersRVStorage.com.
Come get your game on at The Ranch. The Ranch lets it all hang out with a championship caliber design, premier conditions, and above all, a fun laid-back experience. Get top-notch service and unmatched value every time you play at the ranch. Think you have what it takes to go low? The best value for your golfing buck is always the ranch. The Ranch Golf and Country Club. 10, 50, 100, and 200 round packs on sale. TheRanchGolf.com.
Food Sausages makes their meat with nothing but the best local ingredients. From chicken, beef, and pork, their gluten-free sausages are packed with flavor. Every single bite. Get a 10% discount when mentioning Edmonton Sports Talk in-store or use the code EST when shopping online at foodsausages.ca. Plus, you get free delivery on orders of $100 or more. Find them at 6736 99th Street. Food Sausages. You can't beat our meat.
If you've been injured in a car collision, let James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, protect your interests. They'll be there every step of the way to help answer your questions and help you get your life back on track. Trust Alberta's precedent-setting injury lawyers with their unrivaled experience, unrivaled results, and unrivaled commitment. When accidents happen, call James H. Brown and Associates, Alberta Injury Lawyers, 780-428-0088, or go to jameshbrown.com.
NHL preseason action continues with the Red Wings facing off against the Leafs, the Devils playing the Flyers, and the Avs meeting the Golden Knights. Former Oiler Tyson Barrie has signed a one-year, $1.5 million deal with the Calgary Flames. Barrie, over the last 2 seasons with the Predators, played 65 total games, recording 27 points. Lightning forward Connor Geekie gets a 1-game suspension for leaving the bench to start an altercation during yesterday's game against the Panthers. For the Elks, Gavin Cobb is out for Saturday's game against the Riders, while Javon Leake and Tevin Jones are available. Rock Armstead of the Riders won't play due to a shoulder injury, while defensive back Deontay Williams receives a 1-game suspension for dumping Khalil Pimpleton of the Red Blacks on his head. Thursday night football action sees the Buccaneers duking it out against the Falcons, and you could come down to the Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge to hang out with Lieutenant Eric for the action. Kickoff is at 6:15. In baseball, it's the Mets and the Brewers out in Milwaukee. And the winner of that game moves on to the division series. Right now, the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues. I'm Zachary Kubish, and you're up to date.
All right, thanks a lot for joining us this afternoon. Vinny Hinostroza, the mystery player of the day, apparently. Jay's like, what is happening?
No, actually, a buddy of mine texted me, and Sickler's, he's got a memory like you, kind of like where he knows it, he can see it, and the things he comes up with, like much like yourself, he said it. And I didn't have my phone beside me, but I checked the timestamp, and he knew it.
He knew Hinostroza.
Couldn't believe it.
Well, and Oilers fans are so passionate and plugged into everything and remember so many moments.
Oh, this is just pathetic.
What?
Oh, man.
What happened?
Reid, since your memory is so good, can you remind me who beat Glue Guy to 1,000 followers? I think he also beat Jay for an Esty for Rookie of the Year. That comes in from Scalding Gourd. Thanks, Scalding Gourd.
Oh, my goodness. All right. By the way, if you're following us on YouTube today,
keep them coming.
Give us a thumbs up.
Yeah.
Because the more thumbs up we get, it helps other people like you enjoy our program.
It spreads the good word. We should come up with something
Big
like...
Uke. Yeah. He didn't just fight the Toronto guy. He whooped him. Yeah, that was pretty good.
No.
Castor, 1990. Met him. Vanderjet started his career with the Argos before heading to the NFL. Won a Grey Cup with Flutie and jumped to the NFL the next season. Yeah, that sounds accurate for sure. Good memories. Yeah, when Nuge fights, he gets in there. He gets in there. The one with Monahan, because wasn't the fight with Monahan part of the Cassie and Kachuk soap opera? Mm-hmm. And then it was like, oh, that's the first fight of the game, not Cassian and Tkachuk. Kassian, of course, or pardon me, Tkachuk will be featured in this Inside the NHL documentary as well. So Oilers fans can hate watch those parts.
Can I make a confession?
You like Tkachuk?
I do. As a player.
Oh, yeah, I'd love it if he was on the Oilers.
If
they should have drafted him instead of Puljujarvi.
Oh, my gosh. If you could have a player like that. I grew up watching an Edmonton Oiler named Shane Corson, and he
Briefly
annoyed everybody.
Yes.
He was the guy that you wanted to have on your team that would just get under the skin of everybody. And you brought up Tkachuk, and I just, players like that don't come around all that often.
Well, Evander Kane, despised as an opponent. The Oilers fans loved him when he came here.
Yep.
And actually, Zach Cassidy himself, too, was a total villain because he hurt Gagne with the stick to the face in the preseason. And then when they played in the regular season, he mocked his extra protection he had on his face, which was pretty low. And then he becomes, but that's the beauty of pro sports, right? Often the players that you hate the most are the players you would love to hate. I mean, look, McDavid is hated around the league. You think all those fans would take McDavid on their team? No, McDavid's not hated for being
he's not
dirty or
hated.
cheeky. He's hated because, he just got 4 points against us and we lost 5-3.
I would say right now, like the Tkachuk of our team, the front runner has to be Arvidsson. No? I mean, Perry, but I don't know.
Well, I would say Perry more so, but he's past his prime for doing that.
I think Arvidsson could fill that role.
I don't know how many fights or...
Doesn't need to be fights. Just needs to be that guy that you hate to play against because he's sticking you, chirping you, and probably scoring a couple goals on you as well.
Yeah, I guess I'm probably nitpicking here. I don't know if he's as obvious an agitator or as what's the word I'm looking for? As irritant. Like he is an irritant, but Tkachuk will do it and smile, like he goes out of it. Arvidsson with a couple of NHL fights against Hagelin of the Penguins in 2017. I think by a playoff game, judging by... that would have been in the Stanley Cup Final. And the other... Okay, I'll make you guess a guy. Oh, no, sorry, this one was in 2021. Arvidsson fought a former Oiler who was with the Dallas Stars at the time and is known for playing a lot of consecutive games.
Like this kind of trivia.
You're not as... Okay, that's...
okay. No, I'm not going to give up. I never said I'm going to give up. Okay, former Oiler that played for Dallas in 2001. Jeez, that's a long
2021
time.
They fought.
Oh, in 2021.
Yes.
This was a former Oiler that played a lot of games.
Played a lot of He has the 8th longest consecutive game streak. Zach knows it.
Sakara?
No. Cogliano. Cogliano and Arvidsson fought.
Soupy Pigeon came in and said Sakara as well. So a couple people got tangled up on that.
I don't think Sakara was that far along in the consecutive games. I got the list of players who have played over 500 consecutive games up on here. Craig McTavish, 20th longest, 519. All right. How about Glenn Hall as a goalie, 502 consecutive games? That doesn't even make sense.
Good friend of mine.
Yeah, you know Glenn Hall?
Yeah.
Awesome. Can we get him on the show?
Probably.
All right. How do you know him?
My wife and his granddaughter are really close friends.
Oh, nice.
I've been out to his farm. I wouldn't, good friends. I wouldn't say that, but we visited several times.
Today is Glenn Hall's 93rd birthday. Amazing. What timing. Yeah, that's so cool.
Wow. Happy birthday, Papa Glenn, as they would say. The best thing about Glenn Hall is he had a golf cart that he would drive around his acreage. He'd grab a case of Busch Light and the golf cart and whip around his farm.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, and we
awesome.
couldn't come back till the beers were gone. And his storytelling and some of the equipment that he has, just from being around. I mean, when he coached in Calgary when they won the Stanley Cup, obviously being around the Oilers and with the Blackhawks and the Blues, and just a storyteller extraordinaire. one of the best.
That's awesome. Yeah, incredible.
Very, very kind man.
All right. 780-218-9999. If you want to text the EST inbox, jump into the nasty chat on YouTube, which I know takes on a life of its own throughout the course of a show, which throughout the course of the day, which I find really cool because a lot of times people aren't posting to try to get on air. They're just talking to each other as they're listening or watching us, which is pretty cool. So my top 3 athletes I'd most like to see go on a behind-the-scenes tirade, that was Nuge, LeBron for Dusty, and Mike Vanderjet, just to see if he would call Peyton Manning an idiot if he threw.
See what the response was.
Yeah. That's kind of a weird topic today. We had some good submissions as well about the strangest or weirdest or most disgusting thing you ever found in your fridge or kitchen. The gentleman who was eating a moldy sandwich thinking it was cheese.
Yeah,
that was sad.
Mike from Calgary sent something into the EST inbox and said, "Boys, my folks' place was flooded in High River during that 100-year flood down south. The basement had 8 feet of water in it and sat for weeks. When they finally let us in, we had to haul a fridge and upright freezer out of the basement. We duct taped them shut, but going up the stairs, meat juice was pouring out of the freezer."
Oh no! Oh no! That's tough. Yeah, that flood was so awful. But man, oh man, yeah, that would be tough.
Well, he
Thanks
says
for sharing that.
He says at least he was on top. Can you imagine being the guy on the bottom?
No. What would that smell like? Speaking of strange smells.
Grossness.
All right. Also, speaking of strange smells, here are my limericks giving you your sports news for today. We're going to have to come up with some music for this or something. It feels like it needs some music.
I think we should have Irish music. I don't know why, but you think of limerick and...
Yeah. What's an Irish instrument? I almost said bagpipes. That's Scottish. The lute? I don't know. What's the national instrument of Ireland?
It's probably some sort of a flute.
Zach's like furiously looking it up. I gotta make an impact.
What is it?
There's a few, but I don't know if they're fully accurate. It's the first thing that came up. What are traditional Scottish instruments? Bagpipes.
We said Irish.
Oh, Irish. Oh, geez, that's a goof up.
Okay, that's okay. We'll get to that later. We're just being weird as usual. All right, here are my limericks.
Fiddle, maybe the fiddle, flute and whistle.
Oh, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, fiddle.
Yeah. We'll have to find an Irish folk song or something that we can play for the limericks. All right, here we go. I got 3 of them. A couple of them are Oilers related. 6 goals were scored on Rodrigue, leaving the goal judge in a state of fatigue. The red light kept spinning as the Kraken were winning. Do the Oilers even belong in the league?
Yeah, we should start the Fire Knobloch talk right now. I mean, why not?
Yeah, important game tomorrow. Sort of.
Yeah.
Finally see Nurse and Emerson together. Skinner should play the whole game. Important game for Dermott and Brown. Did Dermott and Brown play? Well, no, they got to play. Do you leave Kulak out tomorrow and play Dermott and Brown together? That'd be something.
Too long. Too many injuries.
Okay. Who?
Around the league.
Oh, just the risk of injury by playing these.
I mean, there's a risk during the season too, but
well, the preseason we know the
me.
preseason is too long. 6 games should be enough, and a lot of teams play 6. So McDavid can swear like a sailor. My word, does he need an inhaler? As he loses his poo after a loss in Game 2, just be glad he's not a Hartford Whaler.
Oh, dang.
Remember the Whalers?
No, of course. One of the best logos in sports.
Coob does not remember the Whalers.
He doesn't remember them, but he knows of them.
I know them. But I don't remember.
Rob Brown got traded to the Whalers.
The H inside the whale tail?
Yeah.
Lovely
the
logo.
negative space, whatever it's called.
Yes. It's like FedEx. You know the negative space
arrow
in the
FedEx.
arrow in FedEx. Yeah.
I like those. Those are fun.
I love those.
Speaking of great logos, the Milwaukee Brewers, the glove forms an M and a B with the baseball.
Okay,
lens.
this is a top 3 or a discussion point soon. Top logos.
Oh, we could do that at some point. Yeah. I had an idea the other day I scribbled down and then I can't find it because I'm not very organized with some of my notes. So here's my final limerick for your sports news of the day. Game 3, Mets against the Brewers. The other series were 1 game fewer. Will the sausage race set the real pace? Is that truly why you'll become a viewer?
These are fire, Reid. Of course, Big Uke chime out. VR Montenegro, hashtag Glue Crew. Whatever is on the Guinness can is the winner. as far as
it's a harp.
It's a harp.
That's what I was trying to think of.
Harp.
We could get. Didn't little Rusty from the Friendly Giant play the harp?
Yes, the creepy
Were we
rooster.
talking about the Green Giant? Not the Green, the Friendly Giant.
Friendly
On air
Giant,
or off air?
No,
we were talking about
Rusty
it.
the giraffe, right? Or was Rusty the rooster?
Rusty's the rooster. Jerome was the
giraffe, and one of them did play the harp. And we got to get some good harp music because then what's going to happen?
Yes,
is one of the nasties is going to say, "Oh,
I play the harp,"
and then they're going to come in and they're going to play it live during our show, and we'll have live performance of the year wrapped up for Reid's Limerick segment. I love good.
Matt Hyman said the harp, and Montenegro said the lyre.
Big Uke said whiskey.
It's not an instrument, but it can make music more interesting.
All right, my impromptu limerick. The CFR now enters year 50. Seeing the cowboys and cowgirls is quite nifty. Cowboy Cole left us hanging, but Reid and I kept things a banging. Telling stories of my wife running over an officer quite swiftly.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. On the fly. He does the limerick on the fly. I spent all day working on them in the boardroom.
Oh, Reid.
That's all I think about. I've consumed my limerick. All right. By the way, I have yet to have an email, a limerick emailed to me by a nasty.
Come on,
Reid
people.
at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. Well, we'll get one eventually. And by the way, people can sponsor the limerick segment. How?
Yes, Guinness, if you're listening, please send us. Send us that. Or harp. We'll drink harp, too.
Business at
Smithwick's.
What is it? Business,
No matter.
Yeah, business at EdmontonSportsTalk.com.
Yes.
That'd be incredible if we got Guinness as a sponsor of the limericks.
Wouldn't it? If some algorithm here with a thumbs up sent this, we're going to have to cut that and like hashtag and do all the things that you do, Zach, to make Guinness see this.
One thing Zach does is the sports updates. This one for Paramount Flooring.
NHL preseason continues with the Red Wings and the Leafs. The Devils facing the Flyers and the Avs battling the Golden Knights. Former Oiler Tyson Barrie signs a one-year, $1.5 million deal with the Calgary Flames. Barrie, over the last 2 years, played 65 games with the Predators, recording 27 total points. Lightning forward Connor Geekie gets a one-game suspension for leaving the bench to start an altercation during yesterday's game against the Panthers. For the Elks, Gavin Cobb is out for Saturday's game against the Riders, while Javon Leake and Tevin Jones are available. Rock Armstead of the Riders won't play due to shoulder injury, while defensive back Deontay Williams received a one-game suspension for dumping Khalil Pimpleton of the Red Blacks on his head. Thursday night football action sees the Buccaneers duking it out against the Falcons, and you can come swing by the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge to hang out with Lieutenant Eric for the action. Kickoff is at 6:15. Right now in Milwaukee, it's the Brewers and the Mets tied at zeros. Winner of that game moves on to the division series. The Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne continues just after the break. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
780 is just another lame-ass, low-budget local shop. Homegrown right here in Edmonton, 780 is both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors 780 to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Check them out online at 780.com or at any of their 5 locations at Southgate, Londonderry, Kingsway, St. Albert, and the Outlet Mall by the airport.
It's crunch time for your taste buds, because for a limited time, A&W is collaborating with Ruffles to bring you the Ruffles Crunch Teen Burger, your favorite teen burger, and your favorite Ruffles cheddar and sour cream chips, combined into one unique taste sensation. It's grass-fed beef. It's one-of-a-kind ridges and crunch. Try it in Alton Burger Glory, or crunch into its equally tasty sidekick, the Ruffles Crunch Buddy Burger, for just $4.99. Try one today at your neighborhood A&W.
Celebrate the grand opening of Sit and Sleep and discover a revolutionary way to shop for mattresses. Stop in today for a free pressure point scan using cutting-edge technology so sleepologists can identify the perfect mattress for you. Right now, you'll get free local delivery on any mattress over $5.99 and receive a bamboo cooling mattress protector. Get grand opening savings now with every mattress on sale. Join us on location today for the celebrations at Sit and Sleep in South Common next to Planet Fitness.
Edmonton Sports Talk delivers a mass audience of key influential customers to your business, all while you associate your company brand with the biggest names, the hottest sports news, and teams from every league around the globe. Oilers and Elks, NHL, NFL, Major League Baseball, and the association, Formula One, soccer, golf. Oh, sweet mama! The excitement is palatable on Edmonton Sports Talk. It's where fans go to get their sports fix and where our partners find the most loyal consumers. Contact us today and see how our team on Edmonton Sports Talk can score the biggest goals for your business. With various advertising options available, email business@edmontonsportstalk.com or head to our website and send a message at edmontonsportstalk.com.
Business. Oh, maybe.
All right, good stuff. Thanks a lot for checking out the show today. I hope you've had a great day, or if you're just heading into work, hope you got a good later shift coming up. Of course, Thursday night football at Century Casino. Our Lieutenant Eric is going to be there, and we have some football in town here to set up. We're going to get into buying and selling here for Damon Bunting, who is a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian RE/MAX realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community-driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out online, DamonBunting.com. On Instagram, his handle is Damon Bunting Real Estate. And we are going to buy and sell the Riders as a Grey Cup contender, the Elks even making a charge for the playoffs, and who knows what else, with the guy who hosts the Roughriders pre- and post-game show on CKRM. And, of course, you get him on 3 Down Nation as well. It is Justin Dunk checking in. Justin, you're on with Reid and Jay. How are you doing?
Doing well, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
I got to ask you something right off the hop here, as I spent 11 seasons hosting Overtime Open Line for the Edmonton Oilers, the post-game call-in show on 630 CHED, which at times could get interesting. How have you found Rider Nation after games, specifically a series of losses they experienced this season?
There was that 7-game winless streak, 6 of those being losses, one of them a tie. But to be quite honest, I don't think Rider Nation was really upset during that time. And it sounds weird because they lost 6 of those 7 games, but because Corey Mace is in his first year as a head coach, and because 5 of those 6 losses came by 5 points or less, literally 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, and 5 points in those losses. The one that was the outlier was, of course, that game when Edmonton came to town, 0-7. Trey Ford started, and they ran for a whole bunch of yards and got out of there with their first victory of the season. So all in all, the post-game call-in shows, I think, have been pretty reserved. It's helped me get ingrained and understand Rider Nation a little bit more. But, there have been the odd fired-up caller for sure.
All right, so let's look at this, because you mentioned the 7-game winless skid, in which they were close in a lot of games, and now they got to win over Calgary, they got to win over Ottawa, and coming to Edmonton, and maybe with a chance to eliminate the Elks, depending on some other things that has happened. I think you'll probably kind of hate this question, but I think you'll know where I'm going. Like, how good are they? And I believe we have Zach's been saying that Armstead's not going to play, their big addition of running back. Like, are they a threat? Are they a threat to the Bombers in the West now that the Bombers are rolling again? How do you look at the green and white right now?
That's a really fair question, honestly. I'll never hate any question. I'll do my best to answer for sure. So, when I think about that overall, I look at the games that they've played against Winnipeg this year. You go back to week 7 with Shea Patterson starting at quarterback. The Riders won 19-9 at home. You look at the Labor Day Classic, which usually the Riders win, but that was a close football game, 35-33. And then even a week later, when they went to play the Banjo Bowl in Winnipeg, a game which a lot of pundits and people like you and I didn't necessarily think this, but thought that the Riders were going to get blown out because of some of the situations and circumstances and how good Winnipeg is usually in that game, well, they keep it tight. So, I think this team has shown that if nothing, they're at least competitive, because really the only game that they've had in terms of a losing margin was that game against Edmonton when the Elks got their first win of the year. So I think that this team can be competitive. I will say I do think Trevor Harris and the way that he's played after coming back from the 6-game injured list has been underrated. I know he's been the Pro Football Focus player of the week a handful of times, and even most recently the player of the month for that grading system. But, the touchdowns haven't been there. They need to finish some more drives. The Riders know that. But I think that they could kind of be under the radar here in terms of a contender, because everybody's used to the Blue Bombers making it through the West and to the Grey Cup for the last number of years, right? But the Riders have been right there with them and have a win over Winnipeg this season, albeit a different Winnipeg team earlier in the year. So I think that if the Riders are healthy and get a decent run game, probably just like anybody else, that they can be competing for the Grey Cup.
Justin Dunk of 3 Down Nation and the Roughriders pre- and post-game show on 620 CKRM. It's Jason here. Justin, what are your thoughts? I've got to ask you, because this has been the season of quarterback, I wouldn't even say controversy. It's mismanagement and misjudgment. Call it whatever you want, but the Roughriders are coming to town in a game that they want to win. The Elks have made it clear that they're going to go with McLeod, Bethel, Thompson. What's your take on this the handling of this situation? And for me, I'll tell you my opinion. Okay, is that if Trey Ford is the future of this program or this organization, he should be handling the ball in these games of meaningful game time for him to see if he can be the guy. What's your thoughts on this as a former quarterback?
Well, as a former Canadian University quarterback and not a pro one, I wouldn't like the idea of being in and out of the starting lineup like these two guys have gone back and forth on. And to your point about the future, both McLeod, Bethel, Thompson and Trey Ford are going to be free agents unless they sign contract extensions before February, but at least are pending free agents after the season. You have one guy in McLeod, Bethel, Thompson, who's 36 years old, and you have Trey Ford, who is 26 years old. Will turn 27 just before next season begins on March 30th. So you look at that, and it makes me think about this situation, to your point, that if you're trying to mend the fence with Trey Ford after, I believe he was jerked around and honestly lied about from what Chris Jones said in the media compared to what was actually going on behind the scenes, that you should want to try to get that relationship back to somewhat of a decent spot. Now, the other part of that, and this is a whole other discussion partially that I'm going to get into here, is do the Elks envision Jarius Jackson being back as a head coach and G. Simon as a general manager? Because those things are at play here too. So for them, they're trying to win right now because their futures aren't secured, but that might end up hurting them in the future unless Edmonton believes, whoever the GM and head coach is, that they're going to be able to get both of these guys back in some form or fashion, or at least have one of them. And if you look at the quarterback carousel that could potentially spin in the offseason, there might be one or two quarterbacks at the least that could be without a chair to sit on, so to speak.
Just going to hop down the number 2 here, where Dave Dickinson was a little bit frustrated maybe with some of the discussion in an interview with Sportsnet 960 when asked if he was potentially on the hot seat, gave a pretty spicy answer and said, "I'm just here to do my job." Do you think that maybe like it was here in Edmonton, the coach and GM role for Dave Dickinson has proven to be too much? Is he on the hot seat?
I do think that he's feeling the pressure, and that's because I've talked to people in and around the situation there in Calgary that kind of feel the same way. It doesn't have the same feel that it did when Calgary was, perennially competing for first place in the West Division and going to Grey Cups. Their last playoff win was 2018 Grey Cup, actually, when Dave Dickinson was a head coach. That's his only win as a head coach of the Stampeders. And I think, to your point, there's a lot on Dave Dickinson's plate. He's general manager. He is the head coach and the offensive coordinator. There's a lot there, and he's kind of talked about it, not in depth, but at times this season, that perhaps they'll have to revisit that in the offseason. Of course, he's going to have to still be wanted by the Stampeders. And I think you look at his record and you could probably say, if you're Dave Dickinson, that this is an anomaly because his record as a head coach is sparkling, 82, 50, and 3, literally up until this week in his head coaching career. 4-6 in the postseason isn't the greatest, but he has that Grey Cup and he's been to multiple Grey Cups with this team. So I think if you're him, you could say, hey, yeah, maybe I'm not going to be the general manager anymore, or maybe I'm not going to be the offensive coordinator anymore. I'm going to focus in on just being a head coach, which is, I think, probably when you talk to people around the league where they feel Dickinson is best. If that kind of stuff happens, then you could see him having a future there. But Calgary has a lot of work to do on and off the field for the future of that franchise.
Well, I think, as if Edmonton fans really want to make a difference this week and really spur their team on, they should try and get DMs over to McLeod Bethel Thompson about potentially wearing a coveralls or overalls or whatever Bo Levi Mitchell's been doing out there in Hamilton. It is definitely the fit because that team has not lost. They are unbeaten since quarterback Bo Levi Mitchell began wearing overalls in September 2nd. Now, that's obviously part of the story, but, I mean, you look at the standings here. They are one game back of the Argonauts. One game back of the Red Blacks. Well, I guess more than one game with the Red Blacks because they have the tie. But is this Hamilton Tiger Cats team, are they beatable right now?
Man, the overalls thing is kind of funny, and whatever works, right? Like, as long as you get the win, I don't care what anybody wears. And if Bo wants to keep showing up the overalls, keep doing it, man, because it's a Hamilton blue collar kind of thing. But I see them getting in the playoffs as a long shot. The projections, the odds, the computer would tell you the same thing because, Toronto's 4 points up on them. And yes, Hamilton has a season series, but you gotta somehow get those 4 points back, and Toronto's going to have to lose a couple games at the end of the season. And I just have a hard time to see that happening. They're actually closer to BC for the potential crossover spot in the West. They're 2 points back of the Lions, and that win in BC definitely helped the Ticats stay in the race. But a lot has to go right for the Tiger Cats to get in the playoffs. It would be pretty cool. And I think the extension to this discussion is, regardless of what happens with the Tiger Cats, let's say they win a couple more games here, but they don't get in the playoffs. Is Bo Levi Mitchell the most outstanding player in the Canadian Football League on a team that doesn't make the playoffs?
I mean, it's hard to argue with what he's been doing, and to consider that, he was removed as the starting quarterback earlier on in the season. I mean, it's hard to. It's incomprehensible. I don't know how you'd say that. It would be a great comeback story. But, hey, Justin, we really appreciate you jumping on with us here. I love listening to you guys. Where can just remind people where they can hear you and how they can follow your awesome CFL coverage.
You bet, man. Appreciate you. So you can get all the latest news at 3downnation.com. Also, if you want to check out the 3 Down Nation podcast, we do that weekly with my colleagues John Hodge and JC Abbott. And then, of course, you can tune in to 620 CKRM for our Riders pregame show, which starts this week at 2 p.m. local time kickoff. We take you up until 5 p.m. Dave Thomas, Luke Milne have the call. And then it's the infamous or famous, I don't know which way I'll say it, but post-game call-in show with Wes Cates alongside me. Wes Cates is awesome. Guys, the more time that I've spent with him, he's so smooth, really easy to get along with, is into his football, and doesn't really hold back on how he feels about the team one way or another. So that's how you can catch all the good stuff with the Riders.
Right on. Justin, thanks for hopping on. We'll talk to you soon. Enjoy the game on Saturday.
Sounds good, fellas. You too.
Justin Dunk checking in, talking some Riders and other CFL headlines. Yeah, that Bo Levi one is interesting. Could he be the MOP and not be in the playoffs? He's still a very good quarterback as Hamilton, with David Beard as well, has won 4 straight.
Part of the situation here that's presented itself is there's really been no cream rising to the top. There's been no breakaway star player, so it's going to be an interesting contest to see who comes away with that. Ultimately, with the most outstanding player.
Yeah, and some of the quarterbacks have been hurt. I know Bo Levi missed some time as well, but
overalls.
VA was a pick before the season, right? As the best player, and then he was hurt for a bit, and Rourke came back. I actually like that Drew Brown in Montreal, but I don't know if he's played enough. I mean, he's a good player. Now Kolaros winning, but his stats aren't eye-popping like they have been in other years. So, yeah, that'll be an interesting race. And it's interesting what he said about the big topic here, the Ford MBT thing. And again, like, it's so uncertain because we don't know who the coach and GM are going to be either. So do the coach and GM make Trey Ford want to not resign here? And then somebody else comes in who's like, oh, I would have loved Trey Ford. We just don't know. And that adds to the whole frustration. All right. 5:37. We are going to give you the keyword for our Fly Away to LA contest. When we get back, we'll have some goof ups and look at some other Oilers stuff. But first, the Coob Sports Update.
In NHL preseason action, it's scoreless between the Red Wings and the Leafs. The Bruins and the Kings, and then the Flyers and Devils are deadlocked at 1, while the Blue Jackets lead 1-0 against the Pens. Later, it's the Stars and Blues. Then the Avs battle the Golden Knights. Former Oiler Tyson Barrie signs a 1-year, $1.5 million deal with the Calgary Flames. Barrie, over the past 2 seasons, played 65 games with the Predators, recording 27 total points. Lightning forward Connor Geekie gets a 1-game suspension for leaving the bench to try and start an altercation during yesterday's game against the Panthers. For the Elks, Gavin Cobb is out for Saturday's game against the Riders, while Javon Leake and Tevin Jones are available. Rock Armstead of the Riders won't play due to a shoulder injury, while Roughriders defensive back Deontay Williams sits out with a 1-game suspension for dumping Khalil Pimpleton of the Red Blacks on his head. Thursday night football action sees the Buccaneers duking it out against the Falcons, and you could come down to the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge to hang out with Lieutenant Eric for the action. Kickoff goes at 6:15. Right now in Milwaukee, it's the Brewers and the Mets tied at 0s at the bottom of the second, and winner of that game moves on to the division series. This sports update has been brought to you by Paramount Flooring. Proudly family owned and operated for 33 years, they provide flooring to fit your lifestyle and budget. Specializing in hardwood, vinyl plank, tile, and carpet, Paramount Flooring is passionate about its craft and its customers. Visit their showroom at 10707 184th Street or go online at paramountflooring.ca to see the family-owned difference for yourself. You could also scan the QR code on the screen. Paramount Flooring, flooring for the life that you live. Right after the break, it's the final segment of today's rendition of the Reid Wilkins Show with Jay Milne. I'm Zachary Kubish, and now you're up to date.
Hey Edmonton, ready to take advantage of lower rates and better pricing? South Fort Chevrolet in Fort Saskatchewan has you covered. From rugged trucks to sleek SUVs. And with over 40 years in business, you can trust that you're getting the best deal on your new ride. As the proud title sponsor of the Nielsen Show, EST listeners can drive a little to save a lot with South Fort Chevrolet's transparent pricing and down-to-earth sales team. Visit us today in Fort Saskatchewan or online at southfortchev.com.
At Mind360, we invite you to embark on your mental health journey in a safe and comfortable space. Conveniently located in St. Albert, Mind360 has a diverse team of experienced clinicians that offer a broad range of tailored services for children, adults, and families. Furthermore, we are very proud to serve our military, veterans, and first responders. If you're looking for counseling, treatment, or assessment, understand that you are not alone. Contact Mind360 at mind360.ca to book an appointment today.
Gallo LLP is an Alberta-based accounting firm with expert chartered professional accountants in both our Edmonton and Sherwood Park accounting firms. Our experienced and innovative accountants provide financial advice that saves our clients money. Simply put, we help our clients protect their assets and grow their businesses. At Gallo LLP, they go beyond the numbers to ensure the continued success of your business. Reach out to Preet or John to discuss how they can help your business grow. Visit gallollp.ca today and see how they can help you take your business to the next level.
You've always known GCL Diesel as the experts in diesel fuel systems, but did you know that GCL is also your source for turbochargers and turbo repair? As a turbo supplier for Garrett, Borg Warner, and Holset, GCL can provide genuine original equipment turbos at wholesale prices. Whether it's diesel, gas, natural gas, or performance, we can provide you with the turbo or custom repair you require. Turbo questions? We've got turbo answers. Visit us in the West End or online at gcldiesel.com. GCL Diesel, turbochargers, understood.
Yes, in the James H. Brown studio, James H. Brown Personal Injury Law Firm, the heavy hitters of injury law. With over 200 years of experience, James H. Brown will get you the settlement you deserve. JamesHBrown.com. Book your private consultation today. Tomorrow, it'll be the mobile studio as we are at what's it called? South Fort Chevy in Fort Saskatchewan. What's the commute going to be there for me? Like 2 hours?
I think we Googled it.
15 minutes.
It's let me see here.
I've been given
4.5 hours.
I've been giving Jay a hard time for the last 2 days about driving to Fort Saskatchewan.
You want to talk about driving? Guess who's happy about it? This guy.
How come?
21 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that's closer to your house than here, isn't it? Yeah. I actually have to leave the Edmonton. I'm going to be all discombobulated.
I know. Are you okay? Do you have the proper identification?
I don't know if I do. I don't know if I'll be allowed into Fort Saskatchewan. I may not be.
Department of Nuge Defense in the EST inbox. Wilkins and Milne are quite the pair. Their Limerick segment is developing and is fair. Their show came on the airways with a bang, but most nasties are conflicted with becoming part of the glue guy gang. Here's hoping in next year's Estes Awards that they get their share. Wow.
Pretty good.
Limerick.
Pretty good.
I like it.
Yeah, I like taking a stab at the Limerick for sure.
Scalding Gord says Limerick, more like Limereed.
Jeez. That's a good one. All right. It is time to give our keyword and enter somebody else in our Fly Away to LA presented by the 780. We're qualifying people 4 times every weekday. The Nielsen Show, the Hangout, Hernan and Gager from 1 to 3, and then this show between 3 and 6. Plus, we're going to do somebody on Saturdays during Hello Hockey all the way until November 28th. And then on November 29th, we give away the show on the Nielsen Show. So here's the trip. It's from December 26th to the 30th. It's a flight for 2 to Los Angeles with hotel and rental car. You get tickets to see the Clippers play the Warriors, the Rams play the Cardinals, and an NHL game, which will feature our local team. The 780 presenting this, they're a homegrown local shop right here in Edmonton. 780, both the shop name and their in-house clothing brand that celebrates all things unique to E-Town. They also work with close to 100 local vendors from the 780 area code to help promote and get their brands off the ground. Online, 780.com. So the word 7 and then the number 80.com. 5 locations, St. Albert, the Outlet Mall by the airport, and then they also got spots in Southgate, Londonderry, and Kingsway. You want to go see them there.
Oh, Halsey.
So you text in the keyword to 780-218-9999, and then Zach will pick a qualifier. You got about 4 or 5 minutes to text in. The keyword is goal. Goal. Must be spelled correctly.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad you said that.
Don't type it like a
Paul.
European soccer announcer or South American. Goal! No, just goal is fine.
Just gold. Goal.
Goal. Yes.
Goal.
That is the key word for today. Great, incredible trip.
Before all these texts come in, because it just loses everything in my, here they come.
Oh yeah. It'll shelf everything around.
I just wanted to say, there's not a lot of players. This comes in from Twitter Mary. Now, Twitter Mary's who brings in the baking.
Yeah, she's great.
And I got to, Twitter Mary, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for those delicious, scrumptious little donuts you brought in. Oh, my God. That is the best donut I've had in my life. And they're in individual boxes. They were almost like, one of my favorite donuts at like a donut place would be like a sour cream glaze, like that kind of.
Okay, yeah.
This was like a miniature sour cream glaze that Twitter Mary did. And but she says there's not a lot of players I would love to see go on a rant, but earlier she said, but one that she would love to see cry is Brad Marchand.
He did cry after they lost Game 7 to the Blues. Yeah. I won't talk about him today. VR Montenegro, I have received your limerick, and for reasons you are well aware of, I will not read it on air, but it did make me chuckle. So thank you for that.
Oh, you did get it?
Well, it uses the word McDavid used a lot in his rally speech. So we will just leave it at that. I am leaving quickly. I might even pack up my laptop and stuff while we're doing our goof ups. I am not going to watch Thursday Night Football tonight. Maybe I'll make it home for the end. My buddy Aaron and I are going to see Dark Match as part of the Edmonton International Film Festival. Here is the IMDb description. A small-time wrestling company accepts a well-paying gig in a backwoods town only to learn too late that the community is run by a mysterious cult leader.
Yes.
I believe Chris Jericho is in the film. I think it was shot either in Edmonton or a combination of Edmonton and Calgary. It's called Dark Match. So it's like a cheeseball horror film. We're going to have a blast
fun.
watching.
You're going to have a great time watching that. And Twitter Mary says you are so welcome for the Cruellers. Like a Crueller.
Oh, okay, nice.
They were nut free, and I will make more. God bless you. They were fantastic.
Oh, good. Yeah, I did not see them today.
They were here last week.
Oh, that was
bleep it out.
Was I here last week? No, I was working here last week.
Read
I'm
Big
not
Maple's.
that new.
Read Big Maple's limerick, but just bleep it out.
No, it's from Montenegro.
Oh, from VR Montenegro. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Big Maple. I do not see a limerick from you. Did you send it today or some other time? Did you spell my name correctly? It's REID at edmontonsportstalk.com. I'm really sorry. I don't see one. I don't have it in the spam. I don't have it in the trash. Yeah, I want to see them. Yeah, really sorry. I don't see one, guys. Or Big Maple, I guess.
Okay, bleep out VRs.
No, I'm gonna leave it. He knows it's probably best left, but it did make me because there are some other things in there. I just maybe we won't.
Fine,
we won't put on there.
Brother, this guy stinks.
Oil Kings on the road this weekend. How about this road trip? Brandon tomorrow, Regina Saturday, and then back home. They're not usually they do some other stops along the way. No, it's Brandon and Regina.
You know what, Reed? I wanted to mention this in while Zach's getting the caller, the lucky qualifier online. What if Javon Leake is the secret sauce that makes the Edmonton Elks tick? As he's been out, they've lost. When he was in, they were winning. He is healthy. He is full participant in practices as of now, as of the injury report today. What if he's the missing piece? What if they bang out 3 in a row here?
Well, they have to. They pretty much have to.
They don't have to.
It'd be nice. Okay, I'll read the limerick from Montenegro.
Yeah!
But okay, here it is. Zach's debate... I should read it properly. Zach's debate opinion did suck. We learned about Daisy the Duck. Connor has his rally. I began a tally for all the times he said...
Oh, that's
and
fine.
Then you can fill in the blank there. I won't say that word. I will not say that word.
That was great. That was really good.
I will not say that word on air.
You can't. I mean, there's children listening.
Are there really?
My kids listen to the show all the time.
Act exactly like we do. We are your role models. Who do we have?
We have Daryl.
Our qualifier today is Daryl. Daryl, you're on with Jay and Reed. How's your day going?
Good, boys. How are you guys today?
We're doing great. Congratulations on qualifying for the draw. You ever been to L.A.?
I have. A couple of years ago, had done a NFL football, NBA Oiler weekend. So looking forward to getting the chance to go do it again.
All right. Who is your favorite? Do you have a favorite NFL team?
Used to be the Raiders. I don't know who it is these days.
Fair enough. You didn't follow them to Vegas, your allegiance then?
I did not.
And do you have an NBA team that you support?
I'm probably on Team Iwanek and Dusty begrudgingly, but I don't know if I'd admit it because I'm not sure I want to admit I'm a Laker fan.
Okay, no, that's
and I don't want to get offside with Jay on the Jordan LeBron discussion.
I don't mind the Lakers. There's only one GOAT, and his name is start with.
We're going to do this. Okay.
I won't go down that rabbit hole either, but I appreciate your take.
Daryl, how are you feeling about the you've heard what obviously you listen, so you know what we've been talking about. buy into this right side of the D, or are you like, come on, man, wake me when they play games that count?
I'm in the latter camp, boys. I think let's see how it goes till Christmas, and then we've got to do some upgrades to that right side of the D, I think.
Okay. Hey, thanks for listening. Great stuff that you qualified. I'm sure we'll talk again. Have a great evening.
Super. Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Right. Okay. That's good stuff. So he's done an LA trip with the NFL and NBA and NHL before, so hoping to get the chance to do it again. I got the limerick from Big Maple.
Okay.
I don't know if sometimes the email update's slow or maybe he needed to resend it.
Well, it is. Our email system is pretty Swiss cheese.
It's okay. It's just the times are wrong.
Always.
The
always.
clock is 6 hours off for some reason. All right. And again, there's a word in here I'm going to have to change. Thanks, everybody. Did they all get together? Let's email Reid a bunch of swear words.
Let's make him say a bad word.
See if he'll read one. That'd be funny.
They probably do. Actually, yeah, they should try They should try get in words that are like we talked about that word demure and how it's like TikTok popular and whatnot, but maybe a word that you don't know necessarily that's
but not
bad.
A dirty one, but like some word,
something
that tests my vocabulary and my pronunciation skills. All right, here it is. Connor McDavid let out a roar. Dig in. I can't take this crap anymore. My driveway will freeze. Lauren's not very pleased. Get heat on it now or I won't be able to score. That's pretty good. Factoring in the rally speech and his wife Lauren and his driveway, which I believe it was Gregor that asked him once when there was a big snowfall a few years ago about him shoveling his driveway. And McDavid actually answered, well, I have a heated driveway.
Yeah, nobody's shoveling that thing.
So that's a good one for Big Maple, using some current stuff coming out to the video and then a callback to some other another McDavid comment and factoring in his wife's name. Pretty good. Big Maple, so you win my admiration.
Limericks are not anything to do with Irish people. But there is a city in Ireland called Limerick, I believe.
Yeah, some Irish people are like, quit stereotyping us. We don't speak in that pattern.
And I'm proudly Irish. My dad's side is Northern Ireland descent, but we are not in any way trying to make any.
Is somebody actually mad?
No. I'm just because I want to lean into this. When people are sending in their limericks near the end portion of our show, Zach's gonna find a very nice. There's some really nice Irish music. You could get the harp involved. We could get the.
We could play a song
flute.
by the Coors. Weren't they Irish? Aren't they Irish? You remember that band, the Coors?
Oh, it's Donny O'Day.
Mutt Lang produced one of their albums. I had to bring in Mutt Lang into this somehow.
I think Daniel O'Donnell.
Who was the Lord of the Dance guy? Michael Flatley. Was he Irish?
Michael Flatley. Yeah, they are. My dad likes Daniel
Joe
O'Donnell.
Elliott, Def Leppard lead singer, I believe he lives in Dublin.
I saw a reel on Instagram about how the Def Leppard drummer gets ready for their shows. And it's quite interesting.
Well, I don't know if I saw that. What does he do?
Well, it goes and he goes to the hotel first and has a private chef make him, he had a bowl of chili that night. And I did notice there were beans in it.
Okay.
That reminds me before I get too far, we got to plug the chili cook-off because our dearest Matthew, all right? Let me just Maddie is making a lot of chili. And Zach, you and YTT are going to be down there?
Yep. Tailgate opens at 2, probably set up 2:15, and we'll have some nice warm chili with no beans for your tasting.
Yes, no beans. He did say that. So it's happening on Saturday, October 5th, at the Elks tailgate presented by the Elks Herd Turf District, obviously Edmonton Sports Talk, as well as You Need a Barbecue. 25 regular chilies, 5 vegan, and people's choice. I saw Maddie taking down a bunch of prizing. When you vote, you are entered into the prize draws as well. So there's going to be a ton of prizes to give away. I said, Maddie, can you tell me what is the secret to your chili? He said, there is no secret. And then he went on to give me details on all the secrets he was going to be including. So this is the non-secretive secret chili. He was going to put some liquid smoke in when cooking the beef and possibly maple syrup. And go see the boys at booth number 31. Right, Zachary?
Yeah, spot number 31, right beside the James H. Brown setup that they got down there at the tailgate, as well as the Tall Boys stage, and right across from Spirit of Edmonton as well.
All right, let's get into the goof ups here. Brought to you by Daniel O'Donnell, Irish music singer. No, I was kidding.
My
would be
goof up
awesome.
is it took me far too long to remember Vinny Hinostroza's name as one of the Nuges combatants in a fight.
Don't be so hard on yourself. My goof up is I told Marc Lajoie to go to the Bears football game tomorrow night while he has a game against Grant McEwen.
That's a good point. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yes. That would have been awkward.
Yeah, it would have been weird.
Why didn't you show up for the game?
Yeah, where were you?
Well, this radio host told me to go watch the football game.
Some bleep guy named Glue Guy said I got to go to a football game. Coob?
That was the one that I was going to point out, but for me, I don't know, sports update, I think I said Barry played 270 or had 270 points in 65 games almost. I just corrected myself. That was the biggest goof up probably.
Wow, and the other big goof up was that you couldn't get connected with Cowboy Cole, so we didn't get him.
Well, I think that's
I
think that's on us.
That's on us, guys.
Clear. All right, I'm going to see Dark Match. Enjoy Thursday Night Football wherever you're watching. The whole station tomorrow from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. at South Fort Chevy in Fort Saskatchewan. That's going to be fun. Thanks to Zach. On behalf of Glue Guy, I'm Reid. Thanks for listening.
Get to know the winners, props, plays, parlays, and more with Nielsen and Hustler. Weekday mornings at 11 on The Lock Shop. Only on EdmontonSportsTalk.com.